so scared if I show my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. So scared if I show my feelings for you. Can you feel me?
Enter into a new dimension of creation. The power to design, animate, and edit. Cool and quiet as you create, with breathtaking graphics performance. The way you create will never be the same.
The stage is set here as we make it into the playoff stage for the Esports Women's League Season 4. 7 weeks of grueling round-robin competition have led to this. Our top four are established. Joining me on the mic is Cthulhu. I'm Blue Panda. Cthulhu, we are finally here. It is finally playoff stage, and this is where things really start to kick off.
Indeed, it is a very exciting time for us. We've witnessed 7 weeks worth of absolute bangers of matchups, and some of the matchups that happen off stream, but still have plenty of VODs. But look, we've seen a very interesting upset coming that came around week 7, week 6 during group stage, and that was Nocturnal finally overmatching, I suppose, and surpassing Elevate. And that whole arc has taken quite a twist, and now in the playoffs as well, we shall be seeing that develop even further. So, look, I'm just keen for what is going to happen tonight.
Yeah, we you know, there was storylines establishing themselves throughout the run of the regular season. And then, you know, week 6 was it was the week. That was the big week where the pressure cooker of the regular season was going to blow up, give us our top 2 teams, and then set the stage for what was to come. And here we are, playoffs. We have 4 fantastic teams coming into it. They're looking to book themselves a spot in the grand finals tonight. But unfortunately, only 2 teams can make it there. But here we are. We're coming to you, our faces, our lovely faces here for this, what is going to be the start of this playoff stage. And I mean, look, I'm excited. I'm excited every week, but it gets even more important here. Yes. This is where things start to get really, really big. And Cthulhu, look, the teams that have made it this far, they've worked so incredibly hard.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And to even say that the teams that couldn't make it into the top 4, even this season, they were showing some amazing progress. So props to the teams that weren't able to make it here, to the teams that made it here. Wrens, Nocturnal, Elevate, Calypso, all of these 4 teams able to put up a phenomenal show, really, for us throughout the whole group stage. And I would be imagining that tonight is not going to be any different. This is going to be an amazing day. I'm very keen, seeing as Wrens actually showed us some quality plays quite a fair few times as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, why don't we have a look at the teams that started this competition off? We'll get them up on stage. We'll see where we started, and then we can compare that where we are now. And there you go. Wrens, Nocturnal, Grumpy Grapes, Phoenix, Calypso, Nutty Gaming, Elevate, and 71st Recon stepped into the regular season. Actually, about 9 weeks ago now, if you actually do the maths. They came into this. We are now left with only 4. And so, unfortunately, you know, Nutty Gaming, Grumpy Grapes, Phoenix, and 71st Recon, they didn't crack top 4. So they have a bit of time off going into the next season. But I already hear some interesting things preluding that. I know there's been a lot of talk. There could be some interesting changes coming for next season. Nothing confirmed, of course, just rumors at this stage. But it does mean that there's that much more hype, that much more excitement going into the next season. Now, why don't we just take a look at the journey that we've been on so far, the league format that we've been running throughout this competition. It did start off back in the early days. Group stage was 7 weeks long, each team playing a single best of one against each other team in the competition. So there was a lot of interesting matches throughout that run. Then we get to where we are now. We're heading into the semifinals. The top 4 teams, first versus fourth, second versus third. The winners of these 2 matchups will be facing off in the grand finals in the coming weeks, and then we'll face off against third and fourth as well to figure out standings in the overall prize pool side of things. And well, Cthulhu, why don't you give us an idea of what these girls are playing for?
Yeah, they're getting quite a solid incentive here as well to battle it out for the first place. So the prize pool total is $3,000 dues, presented to us by wonderful people over at Ubisoft Australia. So the champions will be walking away with a solid amount of $1,500 dues. Runners up get $1,000, and third place get $500. So still plentiful amount of reasoning really for teams to battle it out and make sure that they nail down each and every one of their rounds, each and one of their matches as well. So plentiful of that, but it's not all that they're going to be battling for. We also have ZQ Racing, the wonderful people joining us for this season as well, and we'll be coming in with a season MVP prize as well right at the end of the season as well. That we'll be seeing one lucky player get themselves a very nice, very quality made chair as well.
Yeah, but, look, there are a number of players who are front runners for this MVP as well. We've seen some stunning highlight plays. In fact, there are teams who didn't quite make it in the top 4 that have players that could quite easily be contenders for this prize. So, look, it's anyone's game at this stage. We still have a couple of weeks competition before that gets decided. But, look, speaking of competition, why don't we head into our matchup here for tonight, Cthulhu? It is going to be none other than Nocturnal versus Wrens on our stream here. Unfortunately, we don't have another caster lineup for the stream. It will be streamed, but there will be no commentary on it. That one will be Elevate versus Calypso. But Nocturnal versus Wrens. First versus fourth coming into the playoff stage. And what a team taking out that first place position. Nocturnal have looked on fire after the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, the run that Nocturnal pulled off throughout this season, some previous seasons as well, was a very valiant effort. The only teams that were able to match them were obviously Elevate, that were beating them prior to this season. But Season 4 was the season of changes, and really Nocturnal showed us some phenomenal plays, really, during their matchup. And same could be really said for Wrens. This is a team that has taken a bit of a break, but then managed to make a return, managed to push themselves into the top 4. And honestly, I am keen to see how they will play tonight, just for the sheer fact that I feel like they may be able to bring in the upset factor here.
Yeah, not to mention that we have seen exclusively best of ones up until this point. So we are heading into a best of 3 format. This is where you have more room to work with. You can still afford to drop a map and then come back in the second and third and take the series yourself. So there is a little bit more wiggle room in this competition. And well, why wait any longer? Let's take a look at the teams that will be taking the stage here tonight. Up first is going to be Nocturnal, the undefeated champions at this stage from the regular season. There's still a chance they get knocked out of this, but not a single loss in the regular season. They look very clean, very crisp, and coming into this competition, they have to be the favorites.
Yeah, 100%. Statistically, this is the far superior team. Each and one of the players is very capable to even just take on the opposition all by themselves. And honestly, all of them very much of a standout set of players. Crescent has been showing some very promising results. Aussie and Sav, just that duo is absolutely deadly as well. You add up Mons to that whole spice, and it gets even more spicier.
Yeah, look, and then AJ Tiger, obviously, a very well-known name. She needs to work on her artwork, but her gun skill is nothing to sneeze at. On the other side of the docket is the Wrens, though, a team who they've struggled a little bit throughout the regular season. We'll chuck those up in a second. But the Wrens, they have some very, very capable players in their own right. They're looking strong. Angry Wolf and Az, two of the standout players of this team. And then to round things out, you got Brunex, Sporky, Bernabet. They're nothing to sneeze at as well. We've seen some interesting stuff from them. Bernabet has a lot of competitive experience under her belt, so definitely going to be one to anchor the team and keep things going here. And look, I hate to do this. I'm just so excited to get into it, Cthulhu. Why don't we? As much as I want to talk about the Wrens, I could talk to them about these girls for a while. Let's get into the map bands. Let's figure out where we're going because I'm so ready to get into this game.
100%. Yeah. Look, we are going to be starting things off in a very interesting manner, actually, maps-wise. First map is going to be Theme Park, followed up by a cafe, and Clubhouse is going to be the last pick. Now, funnily enough, the very first pick, I believe, is actually Wrens. They picked the Theme Park, whereas Cafe was picked by Nocturnal. So I'm assuming for Wrens here, they are partially going off the sheer kind of semi-shock factor here with the Theme Park picks, seeing as it barely seen any action really throughout the whole season, and
except for our final week of play, where Wrens actually versed Nocturnal, so on Theme Park. So this is back-to-back Theme Park games for them. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Now both of the teams do know kind of the approximate, I suppose, playstyles of each other, and look, just keen to see what that actually going to bring to the table, seeing as Wrens are ready to really just bring in the heat on some of the occasions.
Yeah, look, they must have an understanding what they're doing. But why waste any more time? You know where we're going. The stage is set. The players and actors are ready for this production. Why don't we jump into the game? Theme Park here up first. Just waiting on the R's in chat, and then we'll full send it, ready to go. Cthulhu, Theme Park. We've seen them here before this. Look, it's going to be an interesting one. The Theme Park, it's an interesting one. That's the best thing you can say about it. It's a vastly different map from the majority of the ones in the comp pool, because it's all about the horizontal play. It's not about the verticality. So the roam becomes a little bit more interesting. But we've seen both teams achieve that. It was 7-4 at the end of week number 7. So there is potential for Wrens to bring it back.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Wrens definitely have all the toolkits, everything ready and prepared. So it's more so my concern for them, especially coming from the last time they've played against Nocturnal, is their gun skill, really. And not to really kind of say anything bad about it. It's just the sheer skill gap felt like it was quite a big one in certain scenarios.
Yeah, look, I mean, that still was 2 weeks ago, so this could be a different Wrens coming in tonight. There's any number of factors that could be affecting it. I mean, even in APAC South right now, Digital had to sub out because he's not feeling well. That could be a very, very similar case here. We don't know how these girls are coming into it, what they're feeling, if they're hitting their peak stride in this matchup. So there is a situation where Nocturnal do find themselves upset here, but the biggest talking point in this matchup has to be AJ Tiger and her artwork. Smiley faces last time. They left a lot to be desired. Looked like a stroke victim. So hopefully that's something she has been working on as well.
Yeah, maybe we shall be seeing a little bit more of her artwork. Maybe the seizures for the Tigers do end up finishing up on some of the smiley faces. But look, maybe if she'll be able to get the perfect drawing, maybe it'll be the good luck charm there for the team. Who knows? Possibly
we saw the warped one last week and they still won. 2 weeks ago and they still won it. Maybe that's the key. Maybe it's bad artwork that is the lucky charm here for Nocturnal. But look, we've had a couple of issues with the lobby. We're just getting it resorted now. Ladies and gentlemen, chuck it in chat. Let us know who you think is going to win this one. I have an idea who I think it could be, but realistically, the odds are anyone's guess at the moment. Theme Park, Cafe, and then Clubhouse to round it out. This is an interesting map pool. There are a number of possibilities to come. We can see we've seen some interesting pricks throughout the regular season. We've seen a bit of Blitz, we've seen a bit of Finker, we've seen some interesting stuff, but both teams have proved themselves capable. They've proved themselves very, very strong when it comes to the diversity of map pool as well. They have a lot of potential to cause those upsets.
Oh yeah, 100%. And look, I'm keen to see what kind of wild picks, because I definitely do think that quite a few pot strats might be coming out tonight, and maybe Finka picks. Look, I've been personally vibing with Finka as of recently, especially with a suppressed Spear 308. It's the gun that is probably the most useless / hopeless in the DPS range, but if you hit the shots, that's all you need, really. But look, one of the other things that I am curious about, kind of picks and the macro kind of analysis, I suppose, as she's seen quite a fair bit of action on operators like IQ, those kind of semi-utility setups, but she's there also to just absolutely smash it out on the gun skill as well.
Yeah, the one thing we know for sure about as bit of a fiend on the Twitch. The F2 when in hand is a very, very capable gun for her. So I'm interested to see what she fulfills in certain terms of those roles. And there we go. We are going to be jumping into Theme Park. Ironically enough, Cthulhu, if you weren't aware, both of our semi-finals are going to be starting on Theme Park here tonight. Calypso is also playing that one against Elevate. Nocturnal going to be playing it here against Wrens. Theme Park, it's an interesting one, and given that Wrens picked it, they must have an idea.
Definitely, yeah. There's probably quite a game plan here for Wrens, I would imagine. If they wanted to bring in some sort of a surprise, I would imagine this could be it. Maybe for Nocturnal, they could have been possibly thinking, Wrens picking Theme Park last time, maybe that was just for shock factor. Surely they wouldn't do that again, but look at us here in the semi-finals, and look, once again, it's Theme Park starting things off. Now, the main concern here is that Wrens are the ones starting on attack, which does give Nocturnal an ability to get those initial points very early, seeing as Theme Park does occasionally favors defenders in regards to how much can they delay the entry, but that is a very curious ban against Smoke as well.
Look, that is going to make things very interesting. You don't have that same anchor potential anymore. Yes, you got the likes of the Maestro. You got any number of other options that you would have played in that anchor position. But Smoke, it's one of those, name a more iconic duo than Smoke and playing anchor on the bomb site. That's going to be rough. No toxic canisters, no FM90. They're going to have to diversify their strats coming into this.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting setup here, seeing as you don't have that very conventional way of stopping the plant with the smoke, or even just delaying the push flat out. So I'm assuming something like maybe Echo at the later date will be coming out. Mon's coming out with a 6-pick from Mute to Castle on a lab storage site. Now, we already, from the get-go, firstly, lab pick as the first site. Now, that is one way to kick things off. That's one. Second, a complete 180 turnaround from a Mute to a Castle pick. So I'm assuming more of the utility drain is going to be in play here. But apart from that, another thing is that we really need to also mention is the Frost pick as well from Crescent.
Yeah, I think this might be in response to the fact that, Smoke is banned out. That's one less M590 you're going to have on board for site editing, all the rest of it. So Frost has sort of found herself fulfilling that role, especially with Chalet coming into the comp pool and other tournaments. We, here at EXP, that was decided that given that we were partway through the season when that change was made to the comp map pool, Theme Park would stay until the end of the season. So it's something they'll have to deal with next season, but it is something that we're seeing changed up a lot globally. And I'm glad to see that the girls on Nocturnal have picked that one up as well. We are seeing what you would expect here for this lab storage hold. It's a vertical extension. We can see a lot of roam presence upstairs and across the map. So we could find ourselves in a position where Nocturnal, yes, they have that global map coverage, but they don't have that positioning to go for the refrags.
Indeed, yeah. Only 2 players are going to be on the roam as well for Nocturnal here up top. Only 2, funnily enough, on the side. And one is just completely far away in the throne room now.
Is that
is an
Mons
expansion.
with the super shorty out? Looked like she was walking
believe so,
around.
yes.
Yeah, super shorty. Okay, no, I was wrong. I thought she was running around with the super shorty, ready to go for those tight angles. But no, it's
I mean,
an
she was
extended.
opening a few openings.
Oh yeah, look, in this way you bring Castle. He can lock out the angles. He can open things with the super shorty. But look at the setup. They've got so many different angles covered. You've got to wonder if Wrens can read into this, because there is so many wide positions that they now need to clear. They could find themselves caught out unawares, not realizing that there was in fact someone in one of these rooms.
Yeah, I'm imagining the breach is going to be opened up very quickly, and that is going to be actually Sav and AJ trying to deny the push. And there's already the first gunfight. Bernabé gets taken rather down, but not out just yet for now, but finished off relatively quickly by Sav. A very solid opening pick, but right now, oddly enough, Wrens having a 3-player hold upstairs couldn't really get a refrag, which is already showing first signs of concern here.
Yeah, as in position, having picked up where a teammate just fell. Goes a different direction with it. AJ waiting. Goes to the spray with the Droney, but can't find anything off it. AJ's in a rough spot. There is no rotate position available to her if she gets caught in Cafe. They can pinch it out. She'll have. I suppose she could go outside should she need to. Oh my lord! There we go. F2 in hand. Sav gets traded out. As does find that one. I did say she was an absolute powerhouse with this gun. We've already seen it. Look, AJ still in this position. This is one that you can pinch in onto. AJ could find herself in a lot of trouble very soon.
Exactly. 4 players starting to hunt her down. Her position being pinged as is about to swing, but the P10 Roni somehow comes out successfully here. Even though AJ
1 point of health.
yeah, 1 HP and a Dream C4 flies out. That's another kill and only now traded out, but the damage has been already dealt. The Twitch, the Ash, and the Nomad out of the equation. It's all down to Sporky and Brunek to try to find some sort of opening, but oh, now that is a good one here, as that is the Roam presence now completely down and out.
Long range spray down there with the AK-12, and all of a sudden, oh, Aussie Princess, this tucked corner. That's going to be rough. The crossfires there. Sporky runs in, absolutely munched, and there we go. Aussie Princess finds Brunek as well. It looked good. It looked good for a moment there for the Wrens, and then it was just that tucked in corner position for Aussie Princess. The crossfires shared with Krez, and there was no coming back from it. I did find it amusing though that Sporky, halfway through trying to spray out the nitro cell, went for the honey badger approach and just went and gunned down AJ.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of a thing. Just heck it, I'll go get the kill. You guys try to dodge the bullet, not the bullet, rather the explosion here.
Honey badger don't care. Honey badger gets a kill.
Exactly. With that said, though, I am curious if that was more so of a spontaneous kind of decision to bring in a lab, or was it actually just part of the strat book that is now being busted out for the playoffs? Because look, that definitely caught me off guard with the lab hold, seeing as that side is
protect your bombs
quite
from being defused by
a rarity
attackers.
to witness in recent days. But look, it worked out. It worked out really well, especially for the Rome game. Minus Mons maybe, and everything else just kind of fell right into the right places. For Wrens though, quite an unfortunate turnout during their Rome clear attempt.
Yeah, there were a couple of hiccups there, but I mean, honestly, the fact they got it down to a 2v2, and it came down to Aussie Princess's phenomenal positioning there at the final moment, was a good indicator that maybe Wrens can bring this one back. They did go 7-4 last time around in this same matchup on this same map.
Attackers are
So,
heading out to
if
defuse the
anything, that's a
bomb.
good indicator that maybe we could see this one go further this time around.
Definitely, there's definitely signs of life here for Wrens' potential beginning for an upset, but it's only been the first round, so quite a few things could very much change. Now, I am curious with the slight change up in the lineup of the Wrens, their decision to bring in a zero. They operated that on paper is a absolutely sensational utility decision, seeing as the guns are great, the utility is absolutely borderline amazing. I mean, you're mixing the Valk with the Twitch drone, and on top of that, he now has the secondary hard breach charge, so what can't Zero really do?
Well, I mean, he can't kill people with frag grenades, unfortunately, anymore. He lost those. But he's in.
Uh-oh.
Burner. Oh, just a just a bit of a love tap. Lost some hair on the backside of it as she was running away. But still alive, that's exactly what you want in this situation. 5 guns on the board. They have a phenomenal entry into the bomb site, though. Breach blown wide open, and Krez will be able to throw out another Electro Claw. Drone in, spots out the positioning. I believe that was another camera going deep as well. So they're going to have some information on the site. They need to do something, though. This is, the swing. Krez finds the open onto Burner. She's having a rough time to kick things off here. But they have an avenue onto the site. There's only one player locking that entry down.
Exactly, yeah. The moment the collapse happens, if that happens from Wrens onto the side, they could theoretically overpower Crescent here, seeing she's solo holding the throne room, and there is a Maestro currently on the cameras trying to figure out some stuff. The rest of the players are actually downstairs, or rather, pardon me, upstairs. Could very much throw a spanner in the works if Sav goes in for the swing at the right time.
Yeah, just holding this angle, top dragon. Cam in position though. Does it spot her out? I don't think it did. Just looking the wrong way at the wrong time means that for now she is unscouted. 45 seconds left on the clock. Drone economy dwindling as the player count. Angry Wolf falls, but the trade is back. Az finds one. They are just one man down, one woman down here. Oh, the flash grenade just thrown at the worst time. Ducking over the balcony, almost finds it. There we go. Brunek finds Sab. We're even on count again, and flash grenades, stun grenades, smoke grenades going in. Krez just spots the shins of Brunek, guns her down as well. And the man count, women count. I keep saying man count. I'm so used to it. Women count is back in favor of Nocturnal. So is the time. 10 seconds left on the clock. Krez absolutely guns down Sporky, and no chance for Az either. The older 5.56 is just a bullet hose, and unfortunately has caught the full spray.
Yeah, quite an unfortunate execution there right at the end. Onto the side, didn't really get anything to Wrens, really. The info gathering seems to be relatively good at the beginning of the round, but then all of a sudden it just kind of falls through and isn't able to find any kind of sensible information to go off for the frags for. But maybe in the future installments of Theme Park, or rather this match, we shall be seeing some progress. Change up onto a sledge for Angry Wolf from the Nomad does indicate that they are planning to go a little bit more aggressive with certain plays. No more of the passive flank watch, seeing as, well, Brunek was able to do that quite successfully, actually. And for the rest of the lineup, I mean, not a whole lot of change. Bernabé definitely having a bit of a rough start here, seeing as she is supposed to be kind of the entry frag here, but gets fragged out pretty much in the first minute of the match.
Yeah, it's Burna's struggling. She really is. Hopefully she finds a bit more freedom coming into round number 3. We're going to bunk Dake here. This is a bomb site, which, again, this verticality, there's potential for a number of entries into the building here for the attacking team, and they're going to have to be quite clever in how they do it, especially given that Sav has switched over to the cap can now. No Malusi. They're playing something a bit different. That plus the Mute Mozzie combo. There's a significant lack of information. These entry denial devices could be even more empowered by the fact that they're not going to be able to drone them out.
Yeah, that is definitely a solid point here. the info gathering that has already been looking a little bit lackluster, to say at the very least, on certain occasions for Wrens, is going to be denied even further, and with the EDDs, that is going to be a rough run unless they drone it out thoroughly. It seems that finally we do have some entry drones to assist with the beginning for the push, but already, I mean, from the get-go, AJ, having the C4 prepared, she knows what's up. She wants to get those explosive kills, but she does get droned out, so has to forfeit her position.
Well, information gathering is so key in this match. They're going to have to find... Oh, there we go, and this is the power of the Nitro. Az tag low, so is Burner. AJ,
I believe that was EDD.
Oh, you know, it would have been an EDD. Oh, my lord. I just expected the Nitro. We saw AJ with one in hand. Oh, swing in the corner. They find 2 quick frags. Az and Bernabé mopped up off the back side of it. Completely forgot about the entry denial devices there for a moment, even though I'd just been talking about them. It's one of those days. Aussie Princess removes Angry Wolf.
Oh, no.
Well, unfortunately, no chance to sledge. Brunick throws the Selma, and it's eaten by an ADS immediately. 2 players remaining here for the Wrens. They're going to group up in Cafe and try and coordinate some sort of push. You look at that, the crossfire Aussie Princess, the corridor snake herself, playing with that M590. AJ with the cross into Cafe. Has full health and a P10 Roni on top of it. Argus Cam will be utilised. Nitro Cell tossed in deep, but no, not quite close enough for anyone to find it. And Drones will be on the hunt looking for information. Sporky does find Sav, who I believe had tucked his head over AJ's shoulder there for a second. So I don't know why. I don't know why you dual swung it, but there we go. Crescent with the Nitro from below. And it's all on Sporky. I don't quite know why Sav swung that over AJ's shoulder, but it did cost her.
I think actually Sav was just trying to hold the position over at the, maybe at the vending machine, but yeah, that is definitely quite unfortunate for her. Although Sporky was able to find a frag, it's still a 1v3 situation with 28 seconds remaining, and oh, mommy, she's going in. And yeah, Sporky finding that second kill. Now Mons and Crescent are the last 2 players standing. This is fairly winnable, although with the wubs now going off, the position has been revealed. The gunfight does erupt, and well, it is Crescent to wrap this up. Round 3, so 3 rounds in a row so far for Nocturnal, looking very dominant here. Now that they're kind of bringing on their own, I suppose, shock factor here with their setups.
Well, coming into the... Unfortunately, Burner has been the opening gunfight death. 3 rounds in a row, just getting swung in, unfortunate moments, and it is rough, but we see the flawless rotation of bomb sites from Nocturnal. Not for a lack of trying, mind you. Wrens really are making them work for some of these rounds. Sporky, that last one, almost found the clutch. I think if she'd pre-fired that doorway, just with a bit of information, they might have been able to make it work, but it's 3 rounds now where they've had a good run, but just come up short. And hopefully that doesn't, highlight how this entire map will go.
Yeah, definitely curious how will that really happen, and how will that kind of unravel itself further down the line.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, look, for now, round 4, this is definitely looking quite interesting, to say at the very least, how so far things been just were happening for Nocturnal. Wrens looking like they have a very solid idea about how they want to approach certain sites, certain positions, but against the gunfight, that is really betraying them. For Burner, unfortunately, like you mentioned, she was the opening frag for 3 rounds in a row, and
5 seconds
maybe hopefully for the next, even for this round, this will be already a change of pace, because it seems like the initial entry is all good, but the moment they get even remotely close to the defenders, it's just all kind of falling apart. Maybe for Wrens, a change of pace, even in their push, should be in place, seeing as Nocturnal starting to get a little bit more aggressive on certain plays. Case in point, last round, Sporky nearly pulling off a 1v4 clutch. Maybe that is the solution here for them, but I suppose time will only show here.
Yeah, look, they're trying to cover their bases here. The drone work coming into effect early on, but you can see the spread already. There's just so much coverage up on the second floor. It's Nocturnal who are looking to take this fight to Wrens before they have a chance to really gain any ground. You can see it, just the positioning. You got 2 again on bomb site, 2 positioned over upper arcade who are looking to go for that fight. And there's going to be a 5th, yeah, just over in vault, or actually I believe that's down below. No, I don't know. They're there on the northern side of the screen. But at the moment, Wrens, they're getting into the building. They're taking control of Cafe. Drone work is going to be so key here in enabling things. Not to mention that Gemini, Bernabet again, has found some damage early on. Luckily though, she hasn't been fragged just yet. She's looking to hold down that angle. Oh, this could be absolutely brutal. If they can find anything, just it's behind the fighting machine. Yeah, just in vault at the moment. It is Mons on cams. I don't think she quite realizes how close to death she is, but if Wrens wanted to just full sprint across yellow, they could get into the bomb site almost uncontested.
Exactly. Well, already one of the Yana drones did got shot out, so at the very least some information has been gathered. Bernabear could get fragged out, but no, finally she is the one who opens up the frag as well, making an entry. Absolutely fantastic beginning to the round, and just missing out on the opportunity to frag out Crescent. Mons there as well, finally starts working around that very vault door in the office vault and finds herself a frag onto Brunek. Now, in a 3v4, this is still not all over yet, because Wrens do need to still get rid of Aussie Princess, and Sporky will make a very quick work of that. Crescent and Mons, last two players remaining in a 2v4. 36 seconds remaining. They may play for time. They have the diffuser. So right now, even a frag grenade flies in. It's just Mons just gets absolutely mopped up, and it's all down to Crescent. Gets absolutely swarmed, and it's absolute devastation here.
Hail Mary Nitro Cell play coming out there, and it just says no thank you. We take those, and a much better, much cleaner, much more aggressive round from the Wrens. They went in, they took their ground, they won their gunfights. Bernabear was not the opening fight loss, and it was very, very well coordinated off the back of that.
Definitely, yeah, that push and the initial frag definitely gave the needed amount of confidence here to Wrens, and it showed as just going in the moment she realized that, yeah, there's the opening, only a single person that will be probably around daycare. And after all that droning, they finally managed to confirm those kills and managed to sort them out, and oh boy.
Let's go, Berna. She's got... Okay, this might be too much confidence coming in after that. Oh boy, look, it is going to be an absolute full send, I think, coming into this. I'm excited. Unfortunately, it is thrown armory, so there's only so much that it can achieve. But if you get that vertical control, if you can flush out some of the roamers, it gives you that much more movement and freedom when you execute onto the bomb site. Oh, look, I'm just excited. Let's go.
Yeah, this should be very exciting, seeing as the G8 is almost now considered a much better choice than the R4C in certain occasions, seeing as this time the G8 on Amaru as well allows the 2-time scope as well to be introduced, so the ability to take some of the longer gunfights, rather longer range gunfights, is present there as well. Whereas on the side of Nocturnal, yeah, look, they've made quite a few hiccups. Finally, Bernabear was able to kind of awaken the beast within, and as to follow suit there was quite a spicy combo, gotta say.
Yeah, I think Az has probably been the most traveled with operator picks here so far tonight. We've seen Twitch, we've seen Iana, we're now seeing the Zofia coming out for her. I think this is mostly to facilitate Berna going in on the Iana. I'm not sure where. I'm not quite sure where this Iana is going to come in. No, sorry, not Iana. Maru coming. I think it was straight at the control from the looks of it. Yeah, into control, into initiation. Yeah. Looking to cover over and get into bunks if you can. And she's looking down the door, looking down the site as well, trying to catch anyone rotating through yellow corridor. But
bomb located by
at the moment. Nothing yet. It's just AJ. Oh, Sev falls straight through the office wall, and that is going to be Az, I believe.
I don't think Az realized.
No, probably not. But surely she doesn't go for the impact kill here.
Well, for now, Sav is still bleeding out, and I do believe she may actually be tempted at the revive.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Aussie Princess is there, going in for the swing. Not too particularly sure if the angle is being watched, and Az is completely oblivious, so the attempt at the res is going to be possibly there. Sav is trying to crawl away, and yeah, there we go. The res will be quite successful. So we're back into a 5v5, but the health disadvantage is certainly there now for Nocturnal.
I mean, hey, if you chuck AJ and Sav together, they're almost a person. But at the moment, it's about to set for defensive positioning, and Mons opens up things onto Sporky from the same position. She found her last frag in. Last time we saw this bomb site played in round number 2. Got that armory wall open, but it only counts for so much in these situations, especially when those angles are being locked down. Sav gets traded out. Brunek finally does the job and finishes off what Az started moments ago. With 50 seconds left on the clock, Cthulhu, there's 4 players alive for each team, and no one is any closer to that victory yet.
Oh, that might change in a little bit. Aussie Princess on that very intricate flank right now. The moment she pushes in, she could actually net herself 2 frags, but it seems both of the players from Wrens has actually fallen back. The attempt at the killing Burnabear is there. It's Crescent to actually find that frag. Double kill for Mons as well with that Alder, and now it's all down to Az and Angry Wolf. Both of the players are quite far away from each other, but they do have the ability to pick up the diffuser. Oh, Angry Wolf does get it down onto Mons, but no confirmed kill. 15 seconds remaining. The push needs to happen here one way or another. 1v3 theoretically, but so many angles to really contest and not a whole lot of faith there. Angry Wolf goes in for the swing, but it's AJ Tiger to close out the round.
4 rounds picked up now for Nocturnal on their defensive half. If Wrens win the next round, we will have a complete repeat of the last time they played Theme Park in week number 7, where it was a 4-2 half on the defense for Nocturnal. This presents an interesting position, especially given that Throne, which has been their strongest bonus late so far, is now locked out. We're going to be heading back to lab storage again. So the Nocturnal girls, they're going to be doubling down on this position. And last minute pick there onto the Iana for Az, so there's potential for a 6-pick back, but the defensive lineup, it is largely the same as we saw last time. So they obviously have a plan, and we are going to see that same 6-pick out for the castle.
Yeah, I was just about to make a note of that, and Angry Wolf actually swapping over to a sledge, so a little bit more of the soft breaching potential here for Wrens. So I'm assuming one of the main pushes is going to happen around the cafe side, and see if they can maybe find a few openings around the soft floor here, or maybe even in the daycare. But apart from that, really, yeah, like you said, for Nocturnal, same pick, same site. They started off the half with a lab. They're gonna end this one with a lab as well. So quite possibly they could end their defensive side with a 5-1 scoreline, although that is yet unconfirmed, seeing as Wrens getting really close to winning out quite a fair few of these rounds.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Well, we're getting into the prep phase. Well, at the end of the prep phase here in the final round of this half. And last time it came down to 2v2, Aussie Princess and Crescent holding that crossfire into storage, or into lab, sorry. Not into storage. Into Bandit's favorite spot. We are seeing some interesting setups. Footholes being opened into the Big L. There's a lot that could go wrong here.
Yeah, that's one way to really put it. Certainly quite a few setups that have me a little bit puzzled, and well, Burnabear makes sure that that gets punished and checked out. Aussie Princess out of the equation. The player who was able to shut down quite a few sidelines just didn't get the good timing really then.
Yeah, she got a good something. It was a good night.
Okay, that was actually really good.
Actually, yeah, for you fans of Aussie Princess, use her favorite command in chat, !Pain. It's her go-to.
Yeah, pain is certainly there for her, seeing as the team would have probably wanted to get that 5-1, but certainly things and chances are diminishing, although it's only a single player lost, but it did actually force most of the whole roam to return and default back to the ground floor, although Mons is still holding like a Spartan her solo position in the armory, which to this day I'm still very much questioning.
Be the throne. If you are the throne, they can't see you. Yeah, Mons, I mean, look, she wasted time. She did waste a lot of time over that position. Unfortunately, the UMP is not the greatest over those long-range gunfights, especially into an AK-12 with the 2 times. So, yeah, it was a bit of a rough fight to take. It was one that she probably wasn't going to win very often if you went to play it out time and time again. But already, the Wrens, they're getting good vertical control here. That sledge going to work. AJ, the positioning is not nearly as secure as I think she would like in this situation. Luckily, does have that barricade, but the drone will spot her for the moment. Sav tucked into arcade toilet. I still don't know how to feel about that phase skin. And look, it is what it is. This is a setup and a half, and if they could pull out the win off this, I honestly, I don't want to see this setup again. It's kind of filthy.
It is definitely very, very filthy. Look, if somebody wanted to get in through the window, yeah, good luck with that one, really. A few very interesting setups, as right now it's actually AJ who's solo holding the actual lab. Mons, that solo hold is actually paying off quite well, seeing as she was able to find Angry Wolf, but Burnabear frags her out. Spooky finds another one as well. This does look like the defense of lab may actually fall apart, and we might just see the pretty much the repetition of that previous round.
We've seen them play it out in true Australian fashion, drop their plays, but it's not enough. The Wrens will take out round number 6, and we see a repeat of history from week number 7, a 4-2 defensive half going the way of Nocturnal. Now, last time, unfortunately, Wrens were only able to pick up a further 2 rounds on their defensive half, but this is a different day. This is a different story. Hopefully, we can see them bring a little bit more into the fold this time around.
Definitely. Although we've seen a few interesting plays as well from Nocturnal on the attack, but yeah, I'm definitely curious how will Wrens bring this around. Another Frost pick, it's seeming that both teams do share.
Oh boy,
for the Canadian.
Let's go.
Oh boy, AJ bringing in the Kali. This is going to be a very interesting turnout, seeing as we haven't seen a whole lot of Kali plays, even from our kind of resident Kali main. I'm blanking out here.
Don't worry, take your time. We're in prep phase. You can keep thinking.
Yeah, I'll keep thinking. But yeah, look, for now, I'm definitely curious with that
Isn't
pick,
it? You're thinking of Yoshi on the Grumpy Grapes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yoshi,
That was
indeed, yes.
She was the Kali Queen through the regular season. But we are seeing some diverse picks on the attack this time around. We have yet to have seen the Kali or the Hibana. We're seeing an IQ thrown into the fold as well. And not only is it IQ, but it's the AUG IQ.
I'm curious if even the ACOG has been slapped there as well. Let's have a look. Yes, there is. Okay, so it's going to be just a even bigger, bulky mess there on the screen. But regardless of that, AUG is surprisingly a very solid, very powerful weapon as well to play around as well. Probably not as easy to use as, say, G8.
Could you imagine if Wemai also got the 2.5 times scope on the AUG on defense?
Now
that would be Spawn Peak City. It would be. I think no one would want to play into attack. Wemai would receive, even more bans than he does now. But at the moment, Angry is still fragless in this matchup. Luckily, she has she's going to be able to avoid the old super situation that we've seen in a North American Pro League. She's not going to be doing her best James Bond impersonation just yet.
Yeah.
We're getting to the end of the first minute. Positioning is pretty solid, though, for Nocturnal. They are actually in a great spot to be able to enable that breach. Brunek just waiting. I no doubt will have an Artilla Claw in the back pocket, ready to go for the oh my lord. I was going to say Bandit trick, but it's not Bandit. It's K. No, actually, no, not in fact. No Electro Claw available.
On a roll, and already the breach has been quite successful. Funnily enough, both Aussie Princess and AJ Tiger have actually abandoned that breach and went in just to keep on trying to get rid of the rest of the setups. I am actually curious where. Okay, so one electric claw is on the middle wall. I'm assuming the other one is on the. Never mind. I retract my statement here. We shall be seeing though.
Formally apologize to everyone involved in this egregious incident.
Yeah, look, we probably we'll mention it a little bit later. For now, though, Az has the perfect opportunity.
Oh!
What step? What? How? What? Well
sorry,
done.
How do you not hit good night in chat after a shot like that? That was brutal. That was like execution. Yeah, look. You almost have to do it. Sev doesn't even know what hit her. As with a great roam so far on this vigil, and this is probably the scariest roam that we are going to see this match.
Exactly, already kicking things off really well. Oh no, AJ missing her shots. Now that is the last thing you want, especially against a swinging Kayet out of all the places. Really, and now Fredman going in for the gunfight, does manage to find Burner, so that is a good opening. Mons as well gets rid of Brunek, and now Az absolutely demolishing here. Sporky finding another one. That's the diffuser dropped. That's the final player on the attack dropped. Wrens finding their third round here, and with such finesse. I mean, Az with the one tap at the beginning of the round. Oh my goodness.
Look, I've been having a lot of fun with video editing the last couple of weeks, and I'm 100% downloading that clip of Az hitting that, and we're gonna have some flex tape fun with that one. That was just ruthless.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely nuts. The way how just that flank worked out way too well, I gotta say.
No, that was like, you have been sentenced to death by the state, and I'm the one to do it. Holy cow.
Oh man, things you love to see. But another thing that we do love to see is actually this setup by Wrens for the lab pick as well, trying to quite possibly maybe even clap back at their
Defenders,
opposition
protect
of
your bombs
Nocturnal,
from being defused by
bringing
attackers.
in their own iteration here, bringing in actually a, I was about to say mute, pardon, an echo into the fray, and as well as that, the introduction of the castle as well. So it's looking like we may be seeing a somewhat of a similar setup, although I'm imagining a little bit more of a remote play by Brunek with those echo drones for the late game. But apart from that, it's looking like actually it's just about
10
to
seconds
be
left before insertion.
not a carbon copy, but very close
5 seconds.
replica.
Some would say it bears a resemblance to what we saw from
Yeah.
the Nocturnal defense. But AJ, she's going to stick with the Kali there. This is an interesting setup by Wrens. The Echo, I do rate it. I love me some Echo. It's something that we don't see as often, but given some of the changes that are being proposed, that Brunek is just has held them in pocket till the very end of prep phase, so she can get them out without them being droned. But it's a bit of a sprint to try and get them there before we see the Nocturnal girls get in the building. And luckily, just in time, the drones were prepped and ready to get inside. But both of them down in the same place. It's not something you see every day.
Yeah, no. It's definitely an interesting decision to set up, and possibly spotting that drone as well, and really was able to shoot it out. But yeah, look, bringing in that drone at the late stages of the prep is definitely a solid idea, seeing as we've seen a few Twitch picks, although mainly from the Wrens. But look, you know what they say, if you want to iron out your strat, just try to play for a counter strat of it. So quite possibly that is what Wrens are bringing here. Quite a substantial amount of drones actually being forced here, and already quite a few of them being shot out. So already an entrance is being made, and
Oh my, look,
first gunfight
it's just not stopping. There are drones all over the place, and, well, it's going to be the one to enable Mons to get a frag, but Az responds with a frag of her own. Nitro Cell through the floor. Yeah, it was through the floor, 100%. Was going to take out Sav there. Unfortunately, they lose their hard breach. Not the biggest necessity, but one that could potentially enable them to open up sort of those longer angles. Murder Bear down means that a pretty impactful gun is off the board as well. But at 4-4 at the moment, ooh, AJ does get the down, but almost goes down herself. This time, she's a little bit less luckier with the CSRX. We'll get the hatchet as well. Given that it is drug storage, this is not thrown armor. They've still got some ground to cover to get in position of the bomb. And with AJ as low as she is, this is... I think they are just lucky that Smoke was off the board. Az finds a double with that Commando 9 Crescent to fall. This is going phenomenally well for the Wrens. They are one round away from equalizing the score.
100%, and I do think they have just the perfect opportunity to really push it that way. Mons, though,
Attackers have located a bomb.
has something to say about that. Does manage to find a shot into Angry Wolf, but Brunek is still alive, Az is still there, and both of them are able to really shut down that push. I mean, Brunek should still have one of the Echo drones in possession and alive. Has so far managed to prove us something and show us something fantastic game gameplay, and there we go. Wrens finding their 4th round.
The equalizer, 4-4. This is interesting. Nocturnal absolutely dominating the regular stage. Did not drop a single map. And now they come into the playoffs. This is map 1. This is Wrens' pick, and we are tied at 4-4. Wrens now have the defense. Cthulhu, we could see. I think this is exactly the same as last season, because those that don't remember, I came in for the playoffs as well then, and I believe it was Elevate. They lost their first map in the playoff stage. Now I think we're about to see Nocturnal 2 seasons in a row. The overall victors of the regular season dropped their first map in the playoffs.
Yeah, look, for Nocturnal, this is looking a little bit spooky. I mean, remembering, I believe it was either Season 2 or Season 3, they had such a good run, and then to get dropped down to, I believe, 3rd place after the very first playoff. Definitely, this is looking like maybe the old nightmares are coming wrong. But, look, this could turn out both ways really from here on out, seeing as the scoreline has been equalized. Wrens looking very sharp. And look at this, Az is already on 10 kills. Sporky is following suit here with 9. Whereas on the side of Nocturnal, look,
Attackers have
they
located
have
the
been
bomb. 10
feeling a
seconds to
little bit
insertion.
more like a, well, more
5
of a
seconds left.
well-rounded, I suppose, lineup. Whereas for Wrens, you have a few
Attackers are
very
heading out
cracked
to defuse the bomb.
fraggers, gotta say.
Look, all I know for sure is I think someone needs to message Sab and ask her if she needs a hug after that one tap, because I mean, it's still blowing my mind that we saw Az hit that shot. It was ruthless. Just swings in, sees the IQ in barrels, and well, just does not
Just
give
tap
a
it.
second thought to it. Just headshot, done. Move on to the next one. And the way that these defenses have been playing out, as that is a filthy angle. If she finds a frag from this, that is just going to cripple the mental of Nocturnal. And I think if we see that happen, this could be a situation where we take it to map 3 as well. As, oh no, unfortunate. AJ positioning down outside that storage window. Smart heads up play there from the Nocturnal girls. They don't want to be caught out on these flanks.
100% solid performance, gotta say. A bit of a ping by the Bible alarm. Hopefully, well, thankfully for Nocturnal this time, it won't be a C4 prep from below, but already quite a fair bit of information has been relayed to the remainder of the defenders. Already have their guns trained right at those very positions where the push may be coming from. Whereas for Nocturnal, not a whole lot of progress just yet, although AJ is doing quite a solid amount of work. As right now, we might be seeing Burner Bear get spooked here right on the arcade stairs.
It's a bit like that in this matchup so far. A lot of spook potential, a lot that could go very, very wrong. At the moment, no further damage other than AJ. Oh, sorry, AJ taking out as Sav. I cursed it. 100% caster cursed that. Sav does take the headshot onto Sporky. Nocturnal, they're looking to regain themselves the round lead. Oh, the Z ping out for Sav. They know exactly where this mute is. But Burner swings back and finds one before walking straight at the crosshairs of Brunek. Unfortunate there. They lose one more. Luckily, they've still got 2 players on the board. Angry needs to go big here in this round. Get herself some frags. AJ just swinging that doorway into daycare. Luckily, there's a player behind. Never mind. Just removed. This is rough. AJ's finding some big impact frags, and it will be Aussie Princess to close it down. Nocturnal, a very commanding round to take their lead once again, but Cthulhu, unfortunate. This bomb site just did not play it out the way I think Wrens hoped it would.
Yeah, 100%. They had a relatively solid beginning to the round, and all of it started falling apart the moment Az went down at a very untimely moment, and from there on it's just, yeah, Wrens getting spooked left, right, and center to the point that they team killing each other, running into each other's sights. And look, probably the last thing that really was needed there for them getting spooked is just the trumpet sound.
Well, hopefully the spook doesn't carry on too much, but look, going into this round
Attackers need
number
to locate
10,
and defuse bombs.
what can we see achieved here? The Wrens, they want to pull this one back. Worst case scenario, they'll let this one go to OT, but, well, given that they are setting things up, getting prepped and ready to go for Throne Armory once again, which was the way they kicked off this half. They did take that opener on Throne Armory, and quite well at that. They played it phenomenally. Hopefully they can look to do it again here, because if they bring out the same level of heat they did the first time this bomb site was played, 100%, they could take away map number 1.
Yeah, quite possibly.
5 seconds remaining.
Quite possibly this could be the chance here. Curious about
Objective
some
is
of
to locate
these
a bomb and defuse it.
setups. Wrens bringing in the frost mat straight over to the hard wall breach, expecting the opposition to jump into that. But hey, you know how it goes for the trap operators. The more unpredictable your positioning, the more likely it is going to actually work out. So quite possibly that's the play here, I suppose, for Sporky. Curious where Az is going to be lurking around this time, seeing as she had quite a stunning success.
Yeah, look,
on her
that's how I played the 6 Invitational event. I just played Frost on defense and put it in as dumb a position as possible. And it found kills. Don't ask me how, but it did. And
It just works.
yeah, it just does. It just works. Just don't ask. Don't question the universe. Just let it happen. And I think that's what Az is trying to do at the moment. Just playing this roam. Not going to be able to find. Ooh, that knockout could have provided some big damage. A lot of utility utilized here to open up this wall. They have done it, but at the cost of a huge amount of that hard breach potential. So they have, yes. One of them has a doormat waiting for them, so hopefully they don't. Take the big
Surely
door.
they see it.
Take the big door.
Surely they noticed that one. Sav deciding to just let it run out.
Okay, good.
Okay. At the very least, they were,
Drop the
yeah,
bomb
okay,
diffuser.
they finally got rid of it, but I would have lost my mind and my marbles if they would have ended up
What?
still running into it.
Agent 017 herself, Angry Wolf position, lower arcade, could swing into barrels, and there we go, Az again, finding these big impact frags. That was a wall bang? I think it might have been. Krez will get one back at the very least, but Angry Wolf on this flank will find the down, and her first frag of the match. There we go. Angry Wolf is on the board. Long have we awaited. Now she's activated. We can get this match underway. And man, women count is back in the favor of the Wrens. This defense is just worlds apart from what we saw last time. And this is so much better.
Yeah, Nocturnal look absolutely lost here with trying to just figure out where do they want to push, how do they want to approach this. Some very kind of last moment smokes coming out, and those barely even cover up some of this sightlines, so this is looking very dire here from Nocturnal. A plant attempt does happen. Sav is able to refrag. Krez is there to provide some sort of coverage, but right now Aussie is stuck here. Another peek around the corner. It's Crescent. Fantastic snap, but probably got a little bit too spooky there.
Well, it's Az in a 1v3 clutch situation. Rotates over towards barrels.
Oh,
Spots
no.
the player, but just over the left-hand shoulder. Mouse one and swing is the play. But this time is taken away. It looks like this might be Nocturnal moving on to match point here. They started this so well. It started so cleanly. Oh, nah, unfortunately, it is the Bearing 9 to close it out. Nocturnal, they take round number 10. They take the round away and get themselves... We might see a repeat of Theme Park. Not only the half score, but the overall match score as well.
Yeah, quite possible. Look, it's certainly looking like Nocturnal are quite keen and very much interested in closing this map out as quickly as possible here. 7-4 will be one way to really do it, but lab storage... Oh, stop me on that one. It's Armory going to be instead. It seems like Wrens now realizing that Armory has been possibly one of the better plays so far and has actually nearly worked out last round. Will be attempting to go for a retry, although on a match point retrying the site that you just failed is a bit of a interesting gamble, to say the very least. Something like a lab would have possibly been a better choice, seeing it as it is already unlocked.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
That won't be the case for this round.
I think, yeah, the reason that one came apart is they just didn't have anyone that was able to shut down the potential of that plant or even cut off one of those flank watches and get themselves the contest onto it. And yeah, it almost came through Bernabet, pushed into workshop door, but Crescent just too quick on the gun finger, and well, we saw it, the snap to the head, the gun shot, it was all done and dusted. So hopefully we see those adaptations coming through. Az still had a reasonably solid round, did some early damage, and was able to put it in a much more contestable position, but it's how they close things out here that is really going to determine whether or not we see overtime coming into play. But here we are, Cthulhu. The action phase now underway as we head into what could be the final round of map number 1 here in the semi-finals. And, oh my lord. All right, so it is full rat mode engaged here for Az. Oh no.
Psych.
Okay. Yeah, look, say psych, you won't, and oh no, I think she has no clue. She must now, surely that the window is being opened above her. She must know that she is an immuno. Okay, she's holding this angle. She is committed to this, and oh no, oh no,
Oh no. Oh no.
time to say goodbye.
AJ.
Oh no,
AJ. What is happening there? So many things just happening, but just not much is actually working out as just so
If
keen
Ez-
for that gunfight. She actually gets some damage and the Crescent needs to push in, but it's Savage that goes in for the swing, finds finally that frag, but oh my lordy lord. That was
Somebody-
just a roller coaster.
Get Ez some milk. She needs some help. Oh my god, I can't believe that nearly worked. The fact that not only was she going for a rat play under the window, she was droned out, almost found a frag off it anyway. Burner Bear swings in, and unfortunately Sav will double up for 2. So they lose another one, Wrens. This is just a bizarre round already. But we still have a minute and a half to play. Cthulhu, it's a 4 versus 3. So again, still not out of the realms of possibility that this does go the way. Okay. Oh
no.
dear. Anything that
no.
could go did go wrong. And if you're going to put a bad word in a song, it would be this one. Unfortunate there. They lose out on the mute jammer. No chance. Oh, Angry Wolf. That is a bold play. She's still under the breach. She's going to do it. No way.
Oh my goodness. Okay, at the end, the Selma charges do actually end up exploding the mute charge, but that was, look, I'm gonna applaud Angry Wolf for that ballsy play.
Points for
A bomb has been
commitment,
located.
100%. She might only have the 1 frag, but in our heart she has 10.
Oh yeah, 100%. And look, already, like, even with the fact that Nocturnal lost only Mons, they looking still a little bit puzzled as to, well, how do we really swing? Because really they don't want to swing in through those breaches because already 3 guns are trained, well, 2 guns, pardon me, are trained to this breach, and already Aussie Prince is taking quite some damage. And breaching charge is going to be there to shut down the position at least temporarily, but oh, it's
15
a
seconds
swing
left.
and a very, very good swing as well. That's Angry Wolf out of the equation.
seconds remaining.
Walkie is still there, same goes for Brunek. They could still very much
Attackers activating
contest this situation, even with the diffuser down.
Well, it's the 9 mil in play, plus the Orgay 3. They're going to have to hit some clean shots here, although Aussie and Sav, being as low as they are, could be taken out for free if they just find that right angle. Sporky going to be tagged. Sav watching the cross. This has just been phenomenal. Yeah, exactly. No, I wasn't overly surprised that Nocturnal were able to win it out. Well, excuse me. We are going to see a repeat of week 7 of XP Esports Women's League, but it's just the post-plant positioning. Nocturnal had it down to a science. Every single time we saw them plant on throw, there was next to no coming back from it.
Exactly, yeah. Nocturnal finally being able to get themselves back up off a little bit of a fall there at somewhere halfway down the map, but look, managing to still show us some very good performance. Same can be said for Wrens. A 7-4 scoreline is certainly still a very solid performance. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to find the dub on their very own map pick, but regardless of that, still they have one more chance, and that is going to be on Cafe.
Yeah, look, unfortunate, I think, for Wrens that it goes the exact same way as it did last time we saw it. But there was a lot to be excited about and a lot to be hopeful for if you're a Wrens fan. Going into Cafe, a map which is going to favour the roam far more than it does on Theme Park. Because as much as you can achieve roams on Theme Park, there's just not the verticality to go for the more effective ones. The like you're going to see on Oregon, like you're going to see on Clubhouse, like you're going to see on Cafe and now map 2. This gives me a lot of hope. I'm excited to see what the Wrens can achieve when they go into this, given that they are also starting off in the defense. There's a lot to be hopeful for. But before we get there, before we go into our second map of the series, we will take a quick break. I need a drink of water. You probably need a drink of water. We'll see you guys back after the break.
I have to stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you. I have to stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you. To you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you. 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 I have to stop going back. To
and welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the XP Esports Women's League semi-finals match number 1. Wrens Gaming versus Nocturnal, who still remain undefeated here in Season 4. Cthulhu, we saw a picture-perfect repeat of Week 7's Wrens versus Nocturnal match on Theme Park. Same halves, no less. And now we have yet another matchup coming. This time it's on Cafe. It was close. There were signs of lives being shown there by the girls on the Wrens. Do you reckon they could take it to a map 3 here on Cafe?
Oh, that is definitely quite a solid question here. I gotta say, Wrens definitely showed us some very solid performance. Their defense game definitely looked much stronger here than their attack. Even though, well, theoretically they scored about 2 points on attack, 2 points on the defense. So, for Cafe, there is a possibility that Wrens could bring it back, but seeing as it is Nocturnal's map pick, it seems like they are quite comfortable on this map here. I definitely think that we may be seeing a probably even more dominant scoreline from them.
Yeah, look, it's a more conventional map. Theme Park was always on the fringes of comp play. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. We saw it here and there when teams wanted to do something a little bit unexpected, catch their opponents off guards. Wrens, they tried to do that here. It didn't quite work. I think, unfortunately, playing it back-to-back play days might have given their opponents enough information for them to well, obviously repeat history. So, Cafe, it's not a map that we've seen a heck of a lot in the Women's League so far this season. In fact, I'd be surprised if we saw it literally more than 2 or 3 times throughout the entire run of things. So there's probably not going to be a hell of a lot of information for either of these teams on it. I think this is probably Nocturnal with a deep pocket pick here because, look, most of their matches, they've been played on everything but Cafe, it would seem.
That is true. That is a very solid point here, and probably for them, it would have been probably even more preferable to keep it until, say, even the grand finals to make sure that they have that ace up their sleeve for the matchup against possibly Elevate, although that's still in progress. But yeah, look, for this time, it looks like they've been kind of a little bit spooked there on a few of the rounds, seeing as Wrens were able at some point actually equalize the round count to 4-4. So certainly Nocturnal looking like they're going to approach this in a much more confident and a much more serious way here, maybe on map number 2.
Yeah, now we have seen it once throughout the regular season. It was played, well, once by the Wrens. It was played against Phoenix, and they won that one 7-2. So there's information. It's deep in the archives in the grand scheme of things. So I think this is probably less of a case of them having done any serious VOD work around it. This is them just coming and prep with a map that they feel comfortable on. And this is a map with endless possibilities. I'm excited for it. You know, Cafe, you got the, like, you can have spawn peaks, you can have runouts, you can have anchor, turtle strats, you can have heavy roams. On the attack, you've got a number of options. You can get into the building any number of ways. Flank watch becomes that much more important. I'm 100% anticipating something like a nomad ban. That's definitely so. I don't think we're going to see a smoke ban again, though. I think I can say that with some safety. I would anticipate probably some priority around an Echo, potentially even a Vigil, given how we saw Az bring it to the table last match. So there is some interesting things that could come into, you know, the forefront here for this matchup. But Cthulhu, look, it's Cafe, it's known, it is something that should be quite well entrenched in the competitive map pools for both these teams. Do we see anything crazy though? We have seen a bit of Finker, we've seen some Blitz, more out of the likes of Team Calypso, but it's still a map that could bring out some of those. We even saw an Armory last map, so this map kind of works for it.
Definitely, yeah. I'm definitely quite curious to see if there's going to be any wild picks, although I'm curious to see what is actually coming their way, really. Nocturnal definitely looked a little bit more serious, although the Kali picks were a little bit wild, to say at the very least, out there, but certainly worked out in certain situations. Now, for those who are just joining us as well, we might as well go quickly over a quick rundown for what happened, really, how the results kind of stacked up for the theme park as well, seeing as that was quite a interesting turnout overall, seeing as and Sporky actually were able to crack the double digits. Same could be said for Crescent, but overall, Nocturnal just looked much more confident in their plays, and scorelines does state that very thing.
Yeah, look, again, it's something that I do talk about for a lot of teams in a lot of these competitions. You're coming into the playoff stage. So this is where we hit the nitty-gritty end of things. This is where, every little mistake that you make becomes amplified that much more because there is no do-overs in this position after the best of three, obviously. So if you lose map one, you can go to map two. But the mental game becomes much more of a factor. Anytime you get like even a little bit of tilt can translate to big tilt by the end of a map, especially if you lose. So it's going to come down to stamina. I get the feeling that maybe Wrens are a little bit, they were a little bit psyched out coming into this matchup, specifically Burner Bear, who you see, she's struggling on the frag department. I know it is something that you're versing first place. You're coming into this matchup, you come into playoffs, there's I think it's quite safe to say a lot of people would be backing Nocturnal to win this matchup. So there's all these different factors that are working against the Wrens in terms of the mental department. So you can understand why there is some shaky play coming out in map number one. Hopefully they can find their feet, come into map number two. I do believe there is still a possibility that Wrens win this one, but if they do, it is probably going to be an overtime. It is going to be a hard-fought battle, and if we do make it, Clubhouse is going to be a huge map.
100%. Well, good luck, have funs coming out from both teams. This is definitely promising to be quite a banger of a matchup. Wrens this time are going to be starting things off on the defense, so they will be able to kind of continue the pace that they've set up during the second half of Theme Park. And straight off the bat, Thatcher does get put on the bench once again. Curious though if we are going to be seeing any more of the, I suppose, unconventional bans, like you mentioned before. Maybe an Echo play could be Echo pick could be in play. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I had it. No, my Discord did that thing where it likes to stop playing audio, and I wondered why Cthulhu had stopped talking, and then I realized it was my end that was the issue.
Ooh.
But here we go. This is something. So I did predict a Nomad pick. This is something that plays similarly into that vein, especially given how capable Sporky was on it. You got flank watch cams, you got secondary hard breach gadget. The primary that Zero is running is no slouch either. It's a phenomenal gun. And, the fact that he just enables... The fact that he's a Valkyrie that had a baby with a Twitch, and you could put that camera almost anywhere, is wild. Maestro as well is another operator that so key is an anchor on this map. I think, you're not going to ban Smoke, ban Maestro. It's a pretty similar line in terms of what it enables on both bottom site defenses and Malusian around it out. No surprises, but I rate this pick from Nocturnal. They respect how impactful Sporky was how impactful Sporky was with the Zero, and that is a sign of respect there.
Yes, 100%. And even AJ said in the chat, and just stop being so good on him. So, look, gotta say, yeah, Sporky nearly pulled off a very solid clutch there, and throughout the whole matchup on Theme Park, she's been an absolute menace on Zero, so it does definitely make sense. Now, for our first round, we're actually going to be seeing Bar and Cocktail Lounge to come out for the defense. Now, once again, we shall be seeing Frost reappearing, so far seeming to have quite one of the higher pick rates within this matchup, which is quite surprising to me, to say the very least.
It is making its way into the competitive lineup for a lot of defensive teams, and the fact that she has the ITA as a secondary, that's site editing that can be available to you. The gun, it's not the best that you could have on the defense, but deployable shield, those frost mats, which you can put in unexpected places, and there are a number of places that those frost mats are phenomenal on this map. So there's a reason teams are bringing it more and more often. The interesting thing though, the defense that we're seeing set up here by the Wrens, it's not your traditional aggressive setup that a lot of teams are running. Opening up backstop, opening up freezer, running a Goyo, something like that, opening the angle from Cigar Lounge all the way over to New Belk as well. So they are hard turtling here. They are going to be running a bit of a roam, obviously, with the Vigil online, but doubling down with the Kaid and the Mute as well. They are looking to slow down that march of Nocturnal as much as possible.
100%, and Nocturnal definitely haven't really even brought on board any kind of way to deal remotely with some of that utility, so for them this is going to be quite a rough run, although maybe a few frag grenades will be able to solve that issue. But once again, with the Jaeger on board, some of those sightlines should be denied, so definitely curious how will they be able to deal. Sav is obviously there to try to do that, but she will need a direct line of sight, whether it's through the floor or through the wall. to get rid of some of the mute jammers and kite charges. So
Attackers have located
yeah,
a
this is
bomb.
definitely a very interesting setup overall, and well, only time will show if they will be able to crack that, I suppose, form of Da Vinci Code there.
Yeah, look, it's about reading into a play at the moment. I think that wall was still lifted. No, okay, so it was just a bit of a fluff on my screen. No, I was wrong. So they will be able to start getting in and getting things underway. The mute jammers are going to slow things down, obviously. Deny a lot of that information, but Sporky played with that shield. What coverage is available? Wemway was still on the board, so it's interesting that we don't see that one come through, but well,
Yeah.
Sporky going to hold down the fort here at the moment. That frost mat proving a little bit of a hurdle. They've dealt with it now, and they are trying to clear out this shield and the utility. Oh no, AJ in as well, into Cigar Shop. No, oh no, it was the upside down rappel onto the white stairs window. I just saw an outline, but that's a very, very clean. That's some nice coordination coming out of Nocturnal early on.
Indeed, yeah, definitely a fantastic pinch as well. Not only they managed to get rid of the shield and force the Frost to even just flat out fall back. Well, AJ already had pre-set up that whole angle, so yeah, that's the full control of the piano. Very quickly done and very solid. And well, now it's Sav actually who's going to be spearheading the push. By the way, that Fnatic skin on IQ, I rate it. It's probably one of my most favorite now so far.
Yeah, so does my wallet, but unfortunately he's not quite capable of getting involved in the way he wants to just yet. So hopefully a few more casting gigs come up and I can afford to actually invest in some of these share skins because, look, I rate a few of the newer ones as well. That G2 Vigil, and speaking of unfortunate G2 Vigil, falls. Angry Wolf gets on the board much earlier than she did in map number 1, takes down Crescent after her teammate Az falls. But swinging in, Sav will be there to cover and find the trade. 2 versus 4, AJ being tagged heavy by Burner, who will be able to finish it off on white stairs. That pinch not coming in quite at the right time. The plant is now going down on the bomb site. Sav will find Brunek denying any chance of stopping the plant. And now it is Burner Bear on the Jaeger, spotted from Cigar and Aussie Princess. The bomb defused planner herself will shut up the round and take it for Nocturnal.
There we go. What started as a bit of a slowdown for a bit of a push turned into an absolute snowball effect there in favor of Nocturnal, and look, they managed to make this round work for them very, very well. 1 point already gained and a solid beginning to their attacking rounds. Definitely doesn't look like the Nocturnal machine is planning to make any stops anytime soon. Meanwhile, for Wrens, this does mean that they will be retrying the defense of the bar and cocktail lounge, this time introducing a castle to their roster. And look, I'm definitely rating the castle, but I'm still very much confused about the Frost pick.
Defenders, protect your bomb.
I think maybe it's a case of comfort as well as the fact of the utility that she brings. But this is a
Maybe meme value as well.
hey, look, Frostback kills. Who cares if you lose the map? If you can find one of them, it's enough. It is all you need. But the interesting thing, so I think if this is the castle pick that we're expecting, there's no way it's just for that white window lockout, it is traditionally where you put one of those windows. But usually when you see the castle come in, it's the cigar shop lockout, which what you do, you put the cigar, you close that door with the castle bracket, you sit someone with a shotgun or with a shield inside cigar shop itself, and you lock down U-belt hatch and you lock down top red stairs. But I don't think that's quite what we're going to see here. We don't have an M590 on the board, so it's not quite going to be the play. So it's somewhat. It's just covering the bases. Okay, I can understand why they've done this, but it feels a little reactionary.
I mean, it's good to see, regardless, that Wrens are trying to adapt that kind of reaction play that quite a few teams have been working on, and occasionally that worked out quite well, but maybe, not the way how they've set things up, although maybe we'll see a few very solid introductions, and maybe it'll actually work out in favor of Wrens, so we'll have to find out. Sporky currently sitting on that very same position. Last time she did get fragged out from the white stairs window, but this time there is a castle barricade, so at the very least there will be some sort of a indication that a breach is coming her way. For now, did she get droned out? Now that is the big question here. Yes, she did, and oh my god, look at all these drones. Holy moly, that is... Speaking of the information gathering, quite a fair bit has been already dumped in. The swing is about to come right on, and Sav just full on just sends it. She doesn't even... hot breach through the window. She just walks in through the red stairs entry into the shop, into piano, and just obliterates for sport kick.
Yeah, look, it's the old American Army strategy there. Win by overwhelming force, and that's exactly what they did. As caught out on Cocktail Belk, but it's Bernabetta fall next. Mons finds that frag as she was coming up for that roam through red stairs. Unfortunate loss there, as Bernabetta was one of the big fraggers in that last one for Wrens, despite the fact that there weren't a huge number of them. Angry Wolf running the silencer UMP-45. That's it's sneaky beaky, and you rate it. Look, if it can find kills, who are we to criticize? But the drone economy is dwindling. They've lost 4 of 10 so far. So at least Angry is doing her job there. Brunek standing on the cocktail bar, looking to go for that shot into the door of Cigar Shop. But there is still 5 players up here. Sav is in through the bathroom, spots out the player in Freezer, will get the frag and get out safe. This is unfortunate, Wrens. This bomb site is just not working for them. Az and Brunek still covering the same position as Sav walks in. Saw the legs, but got confused as to what it was. Ozzy's already on the plant. No chance of deny coming out there. So it will be secured. And now both players on cocktail. Ozzy gets dropped. Brunek with a long-range spray does find that kill. The positioning is not favourable. Brunek now has to do it all alone as Az gets dropped to the floor. Unfortunately, just did not have enough health to team up there and find the frag. Swinging in, head jab to knock down Brunek. Still has the shield. Luckily, head pops up though. And it will be Crescent to take it off with that lovely Pittsburgh night skin on the G36. And, well, a round that does play out again in the favour of Nocturnal. Very, very similar. They got the plant down. They covered their bases. They won their gunfights. We have to see Wrens go somewhere else.
Yeah, if they go in for the pick of the bar for the 3rd time, I will be definitely questioning a fair few of the decision-making mechanisms out there. But no, we shall be seeing the kitchen service and cooking to be presented to us this time for round number 3. Az will be making a return back onto Vigil. She had quite a solid performance on the Korean operator in the previous map, but so far Cafe hasn't really been the right vibe, I feel, here for her. Whereas for Nocturnal, things are looking quite solid. They're sticking with the very same lineup. Not much has really changed. Whereas Wrens bringing in the Legion now, as well as that changing back for Az onto the Vigil. Certainly looking to try to find that right formula maybe for them to figure out how do they stop this, what seems so far an absolutely unstoppable machine that is Nocturnal.
Yeah, look, honestly, I think in this situation, going into Cafe, I would have banned probably Nomad over the Thatcher. Just the Nomad already has proved so impactful in denying these roams, which is a key strategy for the Wrens here on Cafe. So I think that was probably a bit of a mistake letting that one through. It's so influential on a map like Cafe. But hey, they're going to go at it. They're going to carry on. They're going to keep their heads held high and try and bring it back and take us to Clubhouse. We see the castle coming out. It is, and again, a slightly older strategy with the castle. It's a lockout through Small Bakery. And
As did the run out.
She did indeed. And nothing at all.
I can admire that by her, regardless of the outcome. But that was one way to really kick things off on a round. I am more so rather surprised that Nocturnal didn't punish her in any shape or form there, but seems like neither of the teams really find any kind of success there. But yeah, to kind of pitch in on the whole dilemma about between the Nomad and the Thatcher, I feel it's more so as of now, it is kind of choosing the lesser evil, because with Thatcher, pretty much say goodbye to all your breach denial and kind of it makes it more so negligent. Whereas with Nomad, you can theoretically kind of play around. I know with the somewhat recent patches, the mute is able to kind of negate the effect of an air jab, but that's barely seen in really any action. And I suppose for Wrens, they feel like they could maybe deal with it, or maybe it wasn't as impactful previously, so maybe that is the case here. But yeah, you are certainly right. So far, the Nomad did a phenomenal amount of work here.
I mean, it's you know, it might be the lesson too, because I think it's one of those just, we don't want to have to play into a Thatcher because we still haven't figured out any real strategies around it. But, I mean, already the Nomad coming into effect, there's only a couple of positions where Thatcher is super impactful on this map, and there are defensive setups that can counteract it. And at the moment, we do things kicking off here. freezer hatch being opened up here. Both Selma's committed for that one. So they do have avenues down to the bomb site. They have second floor control. And even as just playing bottom white at the moment, has to find some opening if she can. The rest of the Wrens girls are just hard locked into the bomb site, hunkering down, waiting for that push. Air jab does catch out Az, but nothing found on the backside of it. She will pull off Aussie Princess just a second too slow to go for the swing, and Brunek finds another. It's AJ to fall to open things up this time around. No sledge. And that is a great kill to be finding. Denies a lot of that vertical pressure. Only a few holes open. And as well being tagged up, playing in VIP, they've stormed down white stairs. They're going to look to try and open up that freezer wall as well. They've got two avenues into freezer, but as in this position, might be able to swing out and find some big kills.
15 seconds left.
Definitely, but right now she is locked in. Sav was the one who's holding an angle, but it's Crescent to finish things off. 9 seconds remaining. The push needs to happen very quickly, very snappily, and right now Aussie Princess does catch a kill onto Spooky as well. 1 second remaining. The plan needs to start, but right now it is a complete shutout. Wrens doing a phenomenal work here, just waiting till the last moments, taking those gunfights and working them out really well. That UMP suppressed getting that final kill is definitely one of the rather more interesting turnouts of the map so far.
Yeah, look, it's playing the clock, forcing your opponents into a position where they have to explode onto the bomb site and don't have the time they need to get the plant down. And they did that. They won their gunfights. It's just the headless chickens of Nocturnal were flooding in. And I mean, I think it was just the power of the defensive setup, bringing the lesion, causing that chaos, causing that confusion. You've got something stuck in your leg. You need to pull it out. Otherwise, you're going to be in real trouble when you go for that plant, especially given Aussie Princess was that low. So I think Wrens, they just played that very, very well. As wasted time, did some damage, did what she needed to, and then the rest of the team had that freedom to play the clock, stall things out, and get around on the board, so they aren't out of it just yet. The big interesting question now, though, it's Reading Room Fireplace up next. Third floor hasn't worked for them, so this is the next obvious choice. Doc, Castle, Valkyrie, Vigil, and Mozzie on the board. So not at all a conventional defensive lineup. I rate this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Doc has seen a bit of an interesting kind of departure from the usual meta.
It was played in the. I can tell you this. I switched over in the break. Diana played it on Villa for Calypso and got a kill onto Walk-in Closet with the CQB shotgun already. So it's already seen play in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Although this time it is going to be a much more conventional MP5 pick by Angry Wolf, regardless. An addition of Doc should be very curious here how he will be able to impact the play. The other addition, yeah, the Valkyrie and the Castle here as well, and Bernabear to actually take the reins of Vigil from Az. Very curious how will that really change things around. The presence of Berna in the minibar, that could be a bit of a coin toss, seeing as the moment any kinds of breach do happen, pretty much her whole side will be exposed here, but for now, that's not the issue that she needs to really worry about, although, oh lordy lord, this could be an issue. The ping does come out, but Ben Bear is already long gone ever since then.
Yeah, the drone would have given away the positioning. Even the audio cue would have been enough to say, they've probably got eyes on me, I need to get out of here. And so, Burner will escape with her life. It's a minute now burnt on the clock. So, really job achieved. Honestly, the time wasted from that position alone, did not lose her life, still got out, probably took out a couple of drones on her way. It's exactly what you're looking for. Brunek just chucking up those barricades, looking to stall the clock, slow things down. Wrens understand their position they're in. Nocturnal are some insane gunners. They more often than not will win their gunfights, so play the clock. Make them work, make them burn utility to get into the room itself. And that's exactly what's going on. AJ opens up with a big kill onto Angry Wolf. No chance for that Doc to come back or find anything. We'll look to push into washroom, and oh no, Ez has her head up and ready to go. We'll find the first, so Crescent traded out. We're back at 4-4. Unfortunately, Ez has no avenue to escape, but no, she doesn't care. AJ goes down. Commando 9 finds. No! Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
So close. So close to finding a third. Aussie just hitting more shots. That could have been absolutely brutal for Nocturnal there.
Wow, that was one of the more explosive plays by Az, and she was able to actually take out quite a couple of very impactful frags as well of Nocturnal. Now Sav, Mons, and Ori Princes are the last 3 players that do need to make some moves in the next 40 seconds, seeing as time is starting to run out. And well, they've managed to make a few openings here and there with the breaching charges, but that is about it. No actual breaches right onto site, no actual entries open up. Oh, Burner.
Oh, I love
Burner
the spot.
Yeah, could foil the plans. There it is. There's the diffuser drop as well. Right now, Brunek finds another one. It's all down to Sav, and Burner Bear wipes her out. That's around 4 to go into the hands of Wrens.
I love that spot. Dark is such a dangerous position, and it's one that is so rarely checked. We've seen it a few times in high-level comp play where just someone, they commit to it, they stick in, and then all of a sudden, you're so busy, so preoccupied, either pushing down brown stairs or pushing into reading, that the swing happens, the frags are found, and whatever hope you had of pulling out a victory is quickly diminished, and that's exactly what we saw. Burnett played that to perfection, and they get themselves the equalizer. 2-2. This is probably the most challenged that Nocturnal have been in a while. They are being pushed to the brink. They are neck and neck, and on a map like Cafe, it is one of those ones that is closer to 50-50 in terms of it being attacker or defender decided. Both sides have that potential to run away with the map, and as we go to 3rd floor, we see something a little bit different coming out here for the Wrens. The Bandits in play.
Need to locate and defuse
Yeah, finally, actually, Bandit, the first time I believe in this whole matchup, as actually making an appearance, seeing as he was allowed for both of the matchups, but barely really seeing any action. Curious if that is more so of an indication that the defense of Wrens is planning to have a little bit more of an active presence around certain reinforcements, or whether it's just more so to be able to deny breaches slightly early on. We'll have to see if that is going to be the case. Bandit charges already coming in from the Freezer side to maybe slow down the push a little bit more. But apart from that, look, I'm seeing some very good, very aggressive plays in certain occasions from Wrens, and those calculated aggression moments are what actually winning them a fair few of the gunfights and a fair few of the rounds. So it's definitely a solid change of pace here for them. Whereas for Nocturnal, they just seeming to be more so taken by surprise on some of these gunfights and just not really expecting this level of cheeky angles, aggressions, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, it is those plays that Wrens will need to pull out to catch their opponents off guard. Crescent on the roof could be finding a huge amount of information here, especially given that Az is playing around Cigar Shop. Pistol out, ready to go on the scanner.
Reloading!
What can she find? Not much, unfortunately. There is flaws in the way. There's all sorts of metal bars in position to deny as well. Burner coming in from below. That is an unfortunate angle to have given up here for Nocturnal. If someone swings in, I don't think there's much coming back from that. Burner should be able to win that gunfight, should be able to deny entry in, and I think very much so that Nocturnal, they have no clue. Surely they have no idea that Burner is there.
That's what I'm thinking as well right now. They haven't really droned her out. Az is the only one who actually taken some form of damage, but that is more so from just preemptive grenades. Quick peek comes around. Sav catches that shot there and able to take out Az. So this is a solid opening. Once again, good drone play. Another gunfight is about to erupt at Sporky, the player who was able to actually sort out quite a fair few of the plays, but right now Sav is just, she's on a rampage. She wants to find more and more of those plays after having a very painful map number 1. She's ready to frag the ever-living heck out.
Yeah, Sav getting revenge there on Az after that unfortunate one tap that we saw on Theme Park. And, well, from here they can start transitioning towards the bomb site. Burner will find one into Aussie. This is that flank downstairs. No, she's pulled up white. She's sitting white corridor. Oh, my Lord, Brunek with a long-range shot onto the head of AJ.
There
Will
it
take
is.
down yet another. This is entirely doable here for the defensive team of the Wrens. One in Freezer. One over towards Cocktail. Spray goes out. But Krez and Sav are tagged enough that they could be fragged out in here too. Do they have any idea that where Angry Wolf is? They know where one is. It's Brunek to go down. Angry Wolf still in this position. Spray goes out. Oh, no! Both caught unawares. And it will be a kill that goes the way of Angry Wolf, who is still very much in this round. Spray comes out. Krez falls. Angry might be able to clutch this one out with 20 seconds left. All it is going to take is a headshot. And Mons doesn't have the information she needs to go for that play. Has to pick up the diffuser here. Just watching the openings, watching the breaches. Does she have any clue of where it might be? Tucked in, and she will swing. Had all the information she needed, had the inkling that maybe Angry was there, and the spray's good, but that was so close to disaster for Nocturnal.
Absolutely. That play as well, those just few of the headshot taps could have pretty much nearly negate all of the progress that Sav made during her very explosive push initially throughout all these gunfights, but unfortunately for Wrens, that is not going to be the play. Final round, kitchen cooking and kitchen service is going to be present now, and this is the side that was actually won very confidently by Wrens, so quite possibly they are going to be going into this round with a bit more confidence, bringing in just about a similar lineup, but this time bringing in also a Legion, seeing as he
Attackers need to locate and defuse
borderline
as many
won
bombs
them
as they can.
quite that push, quite frankly, seeing as Aussie Princess had to pull out at that last moment whilst the timer was ticking, and she needed to get that plant at least starting. So yeah, look, this so far has actually been a pretty solid turnout from Wrens, even though Nocturnal may be able to end this on 4-2, and even with a 4-2 scoreline, very much workable here.
Bomb located by
You also
attackers.
see Krez picking out something a
10
little bit
seconds
different, not
left
the
before
IQ this
insertion.
time. It's going to be the Jackal instead. I think that this is just the read into
5
how
seconds to
much
go.
priority Wrens are putting on their roam game here. And so far,
Attackers' objective
Nocturnal,
is to defuse a bomb.
their understanding and their approach to this map has done a good job of shutting down the Wrens. We haven't had those runaway plays that we saw on Theme Park, but that could have upset the turn of the tide. But at the moment, as again upstairs, again on the vigil, hopefully this time has a little bit more freedom to work, given that it is a first floor bomb site. But I mean, this is just how Cafe plays out. Attacking straight to the roof. We'll start to drone out. We'll start to go for that top-down clear, get the vertical control as well. I think as much as you want to pull something off with this vigil, especially with the Jackal on the board, that's going to be so hard.
Yeah, it is going to be extremely difficult, as already starting to make a plan to escape, and already the hunting party is out and ready. Very keen to find those gunfights, even more tags coming out. Poor Az is just not having really a good time. Still plays around top floor, tries to maybe make a few openings, but right now she's just getting pressured. So many drones already wasted on just trying to get her out of that equation, but swing could simply end her life here. Another drone maybe coming right in, as very much prepared for that gunfight. Goes in for the swing, but R4C comes out much more victorious. A little bit of a spook there, maybe for Sav, as she taking a half a second to get a breather. But right now, that's the roamer out of the equation. And looking at the whole map, the rest of the operators of the defense on Wrens are all just somewhat close by and on site.
I mean, again, still some good time being wasted there by Az. Damage dealt. Did take out some drones, not quite as many as I think she would have liked. But Sav in a position where she could be taken out quite easily. AJ last time around we saw was taken out by a Nitro Cell, so they do have room to work here. Wrens still have that possibility to play the clock, dwindle the time, make it so that Nocturnal have to force in and make mistakes. And well, with the castle barricades in place, the utility in place, we might see that eventuality come into effect once again. We're hitting the final minute mark here. They've still got to find a guaranteed avenue into the bomb site, and none are presenting themselves. Cthulhu, we could see Wrens still pull this one out.
100%, yeah, they still could play very much on time, but just as I say that, Sav, with the assistance of the frag grenade from AJ Tiger, is able to flush out Angry Wolf, and right now they are going to be putting a little bit more coordination into dealing with those castle barricades, given that last time that push happened, that didn't really work out. Finally, that castle barricade does go down. Brunek finds the shot, but right now gets absolutely traded out. Burner as well. On the grave gets traded out. So 3v2 with Sav being very low on HP. This looked promising, but right now with Sporky in a 1v3, 13 seconds, he just needs to deny the push of the actual diffuser, but right now the diffuser is starting to go down, and Mons is the one to actually find the final kill. Nocturnal do finish the first half 4-2, and still this is looking still very promising, although this time Nocturnal were able to adapt pretty well.
I mean, 4-2 half coming into play again, 2 maps in a row. Well, technically 3 maps in a row. If you include the final week of play there between Nocturnal and Wrens. Third floor, the opening bomb site here. Mirror is something that we didn't even touch on, given that it was still in play. It's going to be switched off immediately. Aussie Princess. Why do you do this to me? But I honestly, the Warden, I rate it. It's such a good pick at the moment. You can deal with whatever utility is being dumped into a bomb site. Has the shield, and
Who? Oh.
Aussie Princess. Why do you hate me so?
Look, I rate the mirror setup on the Bar Cocktail Lounge. I've seen quite a few iterations of those. Probably the most favorite one is back
Attackers need to locate and
almost
defuse
weeks
bomb.
ago now, where Fnatic actually used to do this kind of setup where they open up one half of the wall out in the construction hallway, one half of the wall in the freezer to overlook into the piano room, and they had essentially 2 layers of the mirror windows overlooking into those gunfights, and were able to really make it borderline impossible to really push the freezer. So possibly that could be the play here, although it seems like it's going to be quite a modification here of that hold, and instead we shall be seeing maybe very drawn back setup of the mirror window, maybe in the bathroom, or maybe even in the construction hallway, but regardless of that, it still should be quite a challenge for Wrens to really take if they will need to face that.
It's what I'm anticipating, a slightly deeper setup with that mirror window. They are going for the pixel hold as well. That's a little bit more
That's bold.
interesting. We still have yet to see the Wemline come out here on Cafe, which, I mean, it's a bomb site that, it's an operator that is traditionally played if it is available on this bomb site. We are seeing a soft wall all the way through to New Belk as well. So we are seeing some of these more conventional setups. The mirror. Oh.
Okay. Okay. This is
Okay.
curious, to say the very least, but look,
That is a word for it, yes.
that's one way to describe it, yeah. But yeah, this is actually, thinking of that, if they would have opened up this wall as well, that would have been actually one of the larger brain plays, because not only you have pretty much a 180 degree, almost a 180 degree viewing angle onto both the piano and the entrance from the new balcony onto the bar, you also have a very safe way to really peek at those attackers, especially with one more person playing at the pixel angle. So this stacking up this much firepower could actually work out, unless the push from the white stairs comes around and they get flanked, and pretty much all this falls apart very badly. But
Well,
that hasn't yet happened.
We've already bit through half of the round at the moment, and nothing overly exciting has happened. Angry Wolf setting up the air jabs, trying to deny the runouts, not knowing full well that at the moment AJ Tiger is considering it on white stairs for the moment. Oh, pain! Exclamation mark! Pain! Angry Wolf somehow escapes damage from 2 players as Crescent swung her window as well. And, well, unfortunately, is going to be Burner Bear instead, who's found all Nitro prepped and thrown underneath New Belt Hatch, but no one there for the moment. The angle could be utilised, though. AJ might be able to find something from below. They lose Burner, though, which is the primary source of damage in opening up this utility. Az now has the job, and Az doesn't even have an impact left. They can't deal with that shield.
They can't deal with the shield, nor they can really deal with the washrooms mirror setup. They managed to walk in, so a simple pre-fire by Aussie Princess will be able to take out maybe a few more peeks here and there. Already Sporky did take quite some damage, but it's Angry Wolf to actually instead find the shot onto Crescent. Another one, the back turn. That this is an issue here for Nocturnal. They're starting to fall apart, and I know, maybe if AJ Tiger is able to score the frag, she will. Maybe another one to find herself to boot, and that is another down, but that's only a down. 10 seconds remaining. Angry Wolf falls. It's Az is the last player standing, and even she cannot do anything. Nocturnal pick up round number 7. 5-2 scoreline, looking like they want to repeat some of the earlier scorelines in the season.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunate that we saw Angry Wolf find that opening onto Cocktail, and they just weren't able to utilize anything on the back of it. They didn't have the utility to clear out the mirror windows and washroom, or that shield. As soon as Burner went down, the attack sort of fell apart there. As we head down to Kitchen, though, this might be a position that Wrens can utilize, and they can pick up a round here. They are 2 rounds away from being knocked out of the playoffs, which is unfortunate, but Nocturnal, this is kind of what we expected. They came into the season, they did not drop a single map. They're looking to carry that on into the grand finals as well. And Angry gonna 6-pick the sledge. Yeah, this makes more sense. You want to be bringing the sledge on a first floor bomb site. I think they were just trying to figure out whether it would be a second floor or a first floor, but on both of them, the sledge still works.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I don't think really the Nomad has paid off as much as it did for Nocturnal, so it pretty much does make sense to switch off the Nomad and go onto Sledge and see what that could really bring in for the team. Meanwhile, for Nocturnal, not really a whole lot of changes. We do have the mirror swapped out now for, I'm assuming that will be, yeah, the Mozzie. And the introduction of Smoke as well. The operator that actually was banned for map number 1 will be seeing finally the return off the bench. But
Attackers are heading out
apart
to
from
defuse
that,
the bomb.
really, this is looking somewhat relatively similar to what Wrens were trying to bring in for the defense, although a rotation hole into the downstairs bar should present a whole lot more opportunities for some flexible gameplay.
Yeah, this is more in line with what you're expecting for the castle extension here. You want to be able to rotate into Whiskey, you want to be able to contest players pushing in from VIP. It's just a more aggressive setup. It gives you more utility, more
bomb
freedom,
has been
and
located.
being able to contest some of these angles. Although, look, I have to be perfectly honest here, Cthulhu. I am upset and I'm disappointed. We have not seen a single instance of AJ artwork yet.
Maybe I have missed it, but yeah, definitely AJ looking a little bit more concentrated on achieving the dub rather than going for some of the smiley faces. But maybe this peak will make her smile in a second. The ping from the drone as well was there. There was the information for Wrens to go in for the swing, but instead that is not the case. A pincer maneuver is coming around. Maybe we shall be seeing Burnabear find the frag, and well, instead it's Angry Wolf from this angle. Oh no, that is tragic to say the very least.
I mean, that's like, if something were to encompass the Ralph Wiggum sitting in the back of the bus saying I'm in danger, that is exactly it. And so is Sam, as we'll swing back, get vengeance for how the defensive half went. My lord, AJ was in so much danger, and I'm surprised it took that long for her to die. Oh, that was clean, that was coordinated execution coming out of the Wrens. They knew the positioning of the players upstairs. They said, we need to cover these angles so that we can kill them, and they did that, and then, well, Az swung in and found the follow-up kill, and unfortunately, Sav has dropped from the server. Luckily, though, I mean, she's already dead, so it's not the biggest of losses. They could have lost one of the 3 remaining players alive, but they're not out of this yet. It's still Nocturnal. They can still clutch this up in a 3v5 situation, Cthulhu. And we will have the call for the rehost, although potentially we could have a pause. Depends on how things go. Final minute coming up here, and things, you can feel the tension. Things are about to explode here.
Indeed, well, shall be seeing an attempt at the push here. Getting rid of the high charge as well. This should present a perfect opportunity for Brunek to start going in for the entry, but instead she is holding an angle over from the Whiskey. Still yet to find that breach going for her, but there we go, finally. It is going to be coming to fruition. Burnabear needs to start going in for that swing, because otherwise time might run low. Aussie Princess finding the shot, some damage being dealt back to her from a coat hanger, and this is an issue. Crescent finding herself a frag, as gets a retrade. 13 seconds remaining. The plant needs to go down because neither of the attackers have actually the possession of the diffuser. 7 seconds remaining. Crescent finds herself another one. Angry Wolf. It's a 1v1 situation. She needs to go in for that swing, but runs out of time. Nocturnal playing off that time, and this is looking very dire here for Wrens.
I am both a blessing and a curse, it would seem. I can cast a curse and cast a bless when I need to. I did say that it's still a winnable position for Nocturnal to be in. They can play the clock, and that has been how Kitchen has played out for both teams at this point. We could, for the first time, see Wemai coming in here, strangely enough, on Reading Room and Fireplace. Potentially at the end of the entire match. Surprising that it took this long, but as we will grace your presence on our screens again while we wait for this pause to get sorted. I don't think we're going to see map 3, unfortunately. I don't think Nocturnal are going to let it go that far. They are looking to shut it down here. They don't want to have to risk their position in the grand finals, and their play has just been so clean. Little update on the other matchup, Calypso and Elevate going to a map 3. It was Calypso came back to in one villa, so there is a very real chance that we do see Nocturnal versus Calypso, Nocturnal versus Elevate. It's still up in the air at this stage, but as much as I do want to say we could see an upset here, that's 4 rounds that Wrens need to win on the attack, and unfortunately Nocturnal just have been that much better. It's not a case of, Wrens not playing well. Nocturnal are just playing phenomenally.
Oh yeah, 100%. It feels almost like the whole effect of I suppose Elevate as well. It's just they just one step ahead, Nocturnal here, and for Wrens they are still kind of, I suppose, thrashing in the teeth of the predator that is Nocturnal, but unfortunately can't really yet escape the trap that they've been essentially just sent into. 6-2 scoreline, yeah, that's definitely quite a rough one and quite a tall order as well. You can't really afford any more mistakes. You're on a second map, and if you do lose it, you essentially, the best case scenario that you can be promised is a third place.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we are just waiting for that to happen. Unfortunate that it has happened at this stage, but I mean, look, it's presenting interesting positions for us going into next season, especially given some given some of the rumors that I've heard, given some of the whispers that are floating around about team changes, which may or may not be coming true going into the next season. But if some of them are, I mean, as much as we talk about Elevate and Nocturnal being these powerhouse teams, from what I heard, it sounds like we could get a super team coming into next season, which would blow both of them out of the water. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the possibilities. But here right now, there is still both matches going on. Surprisingly enough, semifinals both still need to be finished. At this stage, it's still looking like Nocturnal. And realistically, I mean, look, okay, so Calypso and Elevate, they're both 1-1 at the moment. Either team could still make it through the grand finals. Who wins it? I mean, look actually, no, we'll forego that. We'll leave that one as it is. We'll leave the mystery there. Okay, so going into the grand finals, we're looking. We'll just assume that Nocturnal do win the next round, given the momentum they have. That's not out of the realms of possibility. Nocturnal versus Elevate, Nocturnal versus Calypso. Which one is the closer matchup, do you reckon?
Oh, I'm slowly leaning towards the Nocturnal Elevate, but if Calypso were already able to give Elevate yet another map loss, it shows promise that Calypso may able to be that, I suppose, the next underdog story here, and go out into the grand final and contest against Nocturnal. And against Nocturnal, I actually do think that Calypso might have a very strong chance as well to introduce yet another upset here, although that very much depends on the outcome of tonight. But yeah, look, I'm definitely keen and on board for the idea of the Calypso Nocturnal grand final.
Yeah, I mean, look, it presents an interesting proposition. I mean, Elevate, they're coming into this, they're looking for their third championship back-to-back. If they lose here against Calypso, they have no chance at defending that title, which means we are guaranteed a new champion for the XP Esports Women's League, which then sets up for potentially another phenomenal reign of back-to-back playoffs. I honestly, with the way Nocturnal will be playing, with the talk that I'm hearing about this new supergroup, next season is just getting more and more exciting as the days go on. With the new change, we're going to be having Chalet coming into the competitive map pool, which we did see some theme parks through the regular season, which would indicate that we probably will see some Chalet as well. And here we go, we're back in it. Seb apologizing. It's fine. Look, it happens. It really does. Okay, AJ. Wow. All right. No need to dog yourself like that. But Sporky bringing something a bit different. Burner Bear as well bringing something a bit different. It's the final round and what could be your final round in this season. So why not change things up, be a bit spicy? And I rate it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Wrens, if not winning out this map, they are planning to go down with some very fiery plays here. I am definitely on board for some cheeky DB plays. 117 scoreline should definitely will be improved, I believe, here. Same could be said for, well, Bernadette bringing in the Amaru. I mean, it kind of worked on Theme Park, but only for a single round. Maybe, kind of, not really.
Yes, but also no.
Yes, but also no. Yeah, that's probably the one way to describe it.
Well, coming into this, we see Whamai again for the first time this series making its way in. And just confirmation, Elevate versus Calypso are just starting up on Oregon for the decider, which is a map that both teams have played a lot. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure after this match does conclude. Depending on how it goes, obviously I would suggest going over there if this round is the final one. If not, stay with us because then things get interesting. But we are coming into the action phase. The setup is there. Nocturnal prepped and ready to go. The Goyo as well for the first time making its way through here. Where does Burner go? Is it straight into the bomb site? Is it up to White Corridor? Is it on the cocktail? The questions surely are mounting. The drone work has to be done first. Yes, you got it. The site is clear. The site is clear. They could run in, get the plant down. Okay, the Princess DMR skin as well for Sporky. I rate this. I rate this 100%. First, Vulcan shield gone on White. Drone's going in as well. Sporky spots out a magnet. Is looking for whatever she could find. Doesn't look like there's any. Oh no! Oh no! Crescent might be about to walk into her death. Head spotted. Shots connect. The shield keeps her alive, and Sporky will claim first blood. And straight into White Corridor. Burner Bear on the charge. Runs and guns down Mons. That's what we wanted to see. No chance and no clue, and as there to team up for another. Wrens go for the unconventional picks, and for some reason it's working. Aussie Princess falls. Az finds that one, and it's Sav in a 1v5 with both Blackbeard and the Armoru coming into play here. My lord, Wrens, what have you done?
Yeah, Wrens planning to go out here with a very loud bang here. At the very least, this won't be a flawless round there for them. Sav introduces that variable, but already taking so much damage. But oh my goodness, yes, the Blackbeard and the Amaru pick has actually worked out absolutely fantastically. And well, Sporky is the one. She opens up the round and she closes it out as well. That's a win for the Wrens. 6-3 scoreline. Look, definitely this round has left me a little bit speechless, but at the same time very hyped up for what Wrens could possibly be bringing in for the next few rounds. From
yes, but also no to yes again, it would seem. As Wrens, they get themselves around in the wood. Surely we don't see... Oh, okay, Sporky sitting on the Blackbeard again. We could see the Armoru come in as well. I mean, the Armoru would be very effective on this mirror setup that we've seen already, given that it's washroom, going in through White Corridor, catch Aussie Princess in that position off guard. They can translate that into a massive explosion onto the bomb site. At the moment, Burner, she's not going to go for it just yet, but the potential's still there. It's going to be Angry Wolf, though. She's going to pick out the nomad. So we're not going to see it again. Okay, yeah, look, Mon's reading into it and then getting caught out. The Frost, yeah, this is 100% reactionary.
Yeah, the Frost pick is definitely out there. She just wants to make sure that none of that rushing stuff is going to happen anytime soon. And I'm more than confident that at least one of the Frost mats is going to go in that window. But we'll have to see for now. Both of the rosters have kind of defaulted back to somewhat standardized picks. Aussie Princess busting out the mirror strat yet again. And whereas for Wrens, yeah, well, it's only Sporky that is going to be keeping her BB pick here. And like I mentioned, yeah.
5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers projected to locate the bomb.
Exactly. So this time, full proper expansion here. Full proper view angle to keep an eye out, and well, for Aussie Princess, this should be solid turnout. I am curious how we'll.
Sorry, I muted my mic. I messed up. Okay.
Okay,
look,
right.
Hey, Cthulhu knows what I said. You guys will never know, unfortunately. But we carry on.
We'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, we won't tell if you... Actually, no, you can't tell. Never mind. 2 minutes 30 on the clock, Cthulhu, and we see Sporky back on the Blackbeard. Anticipating some aggression on this window, where she found the frag last time, but it is AJ Tiger to take out Angry Wolf again. Unfortunately, outside the building, so no chance at those air jabs being put down at all, which is unfortunate and means that there is far more freedom on the flank here for the Nocturnal girls. This could be the nail, the final nail in the coffin here for Wrens' playoffs run.
Quite possibly, yeah. The run out is being prepped again by AJ. She wants to make sure that she has all the possibilities for some of these very aggressive plays. So far, the rest of the roster, though, of Nocturnal sitting very patiently where, just as I say that, Crescent decides to join the roam. For now, yeah, quite possibly that initial frag, that initial stutter at the momentum could be that nail that you've been mentioning, and well, maybe Sporky is will be able to get a few frags, but right now she's very much disconnected from her team, and a single run out could pretty much end BB's run.
Yeah, it is an unfortunate position to find yourself in. It's a very bold window to be peaking as a Blackbeard as well, given that I mean, you could be jumped out from white stairs, you could be jumped out from below, which was what AJ is maybe looking for, but decides better of it. White stairs even. Rez will throw the nitro, but it is just a little bit over eager in that situation, as the girls from Wrens have got themselves in already, starting to move on and get themselves ready to execute on this bomb site. This mirror window is going to be the final hurdle. The drones can get through. There is no mute covering, but it's shot out of the air immediately. So as we'll push in, Crescent finds a kill on the Burner Bear, just pre-firing things. It's a rough spot as just tanking the wall. Will it be the secondary that comes in play? AJ does find it, finds the flank, finds the cross, and it will be just Sporky and Brunek remaining here. Brunek has snuck onto the site, though. It is looking for the blood. Aussie goes through. Nitro cell, but it's too late as Sev steals away the frag. And she can't get the remainder on Sporky. It's a 1v4. Mons shuts it down. Nocturnal will be the first team to move through into the grand finals here for Season 4. It was a bit messy on that final round, but Nocturnal, they do get it done in style.
Most definitely, yeah. And look, not to discredit Wrens at all, that was a phenomenal few rounds where they were able to take them, but unfortunately for them, third place is going to be the next best case scenario. But look, 2-0 victory. Sav now going absolutely bonkers with the 11 kills run on map number 2. Definitely was able to redeem herself after quite an unfortunate turnout on Theme Park, but yeah, look, 7-3, there we are. Cafe Dostoevsky does conclude the overall matchup. Like you said, Nocturnal to the grand finals. We're still yet to figure out whether it's going to be Elevate and or Calypso, as yeah, look, Elevate definitely looked like they maybe some internal issues.
Well, I can give you an insight into what's going on. Calypso took round 1 of Oregon, and it was just Soy in a 1v5 when I stopped watching to come back to what was going on. So they're look, I'm not saying they're out of it just yet, but there is a possibility that Calypso could be in the grand finals. I'm not saying it just yet. What we know for sure is that Nocturnal have progressed through, and it will be Wrens to play for that third, fourth playoff matchup as well. Against 2, we won't know until later on. But Cthulhu, I mean, what a hell of a run. Nocturnal, they came in swing. They did not stop. Well, okay, they did stop swinging for one round. Because we saw Armor and Blackbeard come to play, and Wrens stopped it from ending there. But honestly, it just gives me a lot of hope for Wrens going into next season. They showed a lot of promise. The fact that they went that close to a team who was undefeated in the regular season and remains undefeated here in the playoffs as well, that's a good indicator. And there are some weaknesses that maybe could mean that Nocturnal may not take away the grand finals. We'll have to wait and see until we get there. But I mean, big numbers on both sides, as showed a lot of promise. I'm definitely interested to have a deeper dive into the stats.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how will Wrens really perform in the future seasons. See where they can take themselves, because I can certainly see that kind of an underdog story forming with them as well. They've been improving quite substantially throughout even this whole season. So it's certainly a good sign for them. For Nocturnal, though, yeah, look, they finally managed to realize that whole storyline of pulling a massive comeback from from forming a team from essentially quote-unquote rejects of Elevate, into now possibly contesting yet another time for the first place, the grand prize, and with Elevate already taking a second L on second map loss. This could be introducing quite a few very interesting storylines. Maybe Elevate are starting to burn out. Maybe there's some internal issues. Maybe there's completely something different that we are completely unaware about. But look, I'm happy to see that Nocturnal have managed to finally break through that glass ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those things. Every single team in this competition has shown improvement. From start to finish of the season, there has been improvement. Unfortunately, in a situation where there was already a bit of a skill gap between teams, that improvement is going to translate for them as well. So as much as you're improving to this point, your opponents are as well. So, I mean, coming in with the gap between seasons, you can look to translate those improvements, even compound on them, going in and reset yourself, looking to come into the new season, looking to take away that first place position. There's any number of possibilities that could come through, and that translates to the numbers that we see week in, week out from the girls. Consistently higher stats. unfortunately, it is a case of you're not going to perform every week, and it's not exclusive to the XP Esports Women's League. You see that at all levels of play from tier 1 down. And I mean, it's the fact that we have seen, start of the season, the highest round count that we saw for a losing team was 3, to coming into week 5, where we had an overtime, we had another couple of matches go very, very deep. We had this matchup here where it went 7-4, 7-3. It looked like Wrens were going to be able to take its OT. And then you look at the other side of the semifinals where it has gone to a map 3. Elevate lost on Villa in overtime to Calypso, who were able to bring it back and go for that second shot. There's a lot of promise in these teams. I honestly could not tell you at this stage who I think will win the grand finals, given that Elevate, they're defending their title. They want to be able to take it away. Calypso might be the ones to deny them that chance. And then Nocturnal are looking to break away from that shadow. There is so much riding on this grand finals matchup and so much riding on our second semifinal.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, the second semifinal definitely is bringing in quite an interesting storyline. And yeah, for Elevate, look, they might be just about struggling right now for just even getting back into the grand final. So, well, let's have a quick peek, refresh our memories of this whole matchup and how the scorelines did go here, seeing as, well, like you said, 2-0 victory, 7-3 on Cafe Dostoevsky, 7-4 it was back then on the theme park. And look, for Wrens, gotta give it to as Brunek even and Angry Wolf. They were doing some fantastic jobs, some good clutches as well, nearly clutches, but unfortunately for them, couldn't really solidify a whole lot of them. But on the side of Nocturnal, Sav, 11-8, definitely went hard on quite a fair few of the rounds.
Yeah, I mean, there was even a bounce back between map 1 and 2 for some of the girls on Wrens. There's numbers on the board. They are getting involved and getting some big kills. Unfortunately, just facing up against the team of the caliber of Nocturnal, it was always going to be a struggle. It was always going to be an uphill battle. And they proved why they ended the regular season in first place. So it is what it always was. It was a rough matchup to go into in the semifinals. Unfortunately, first versus fourth is always going to be that tough battle. But I mean, look, map breakdown, you can see as it stands, there were a number of rounds where it got very, very close. The frags weren't vastly different. I think, between first on each team, there was 3 kills separating Brunek and Sab, sorry. So it's very much a case of they are so close, but just not quite at that same point.
Yeah, I definitely think that comes next season, I definitely think that Wrens will be able to once again contest that top 4 position and maybe even match themselves against some of the higher end teams yet again. Nocturnal definitely will have to keep an eye out on this team as well in the nearest future. But yeah, look, 2-0 victory for Nocturnal, like we said. Massive congratulations to them. They get once again the big chance at the grand final, at contesting for that $1,500 dues and possibly for the MVP prize as well by the ZQ Racing. Whereas for Elevate, though, they still yet to close out this kind of part of their storyline, I suppose. And look, if Nocturnal will bring in the heat just like they did today, as an Elevate player, I would be quite concerned.
Yeah, most definitely. But unfortunately for us here on the mainstream for the XP Esports Women's League, there's not much more to say. Wrens, they weren't quite able to take away map number 2. So Nocturnal do take it 2-0. Massive thank you, though, to everyone that was involved. Massive thank you to our sponsors as well. ZQ Racing, Computer Alliance, Intel, Republic of Gamers, Cooler Master, and of course Ubisoft, who are backing this whole thing. It is their game, after all, if you didn't know already. And XP Esports making all of this possible, from production to the setup to the tournament and everything. And, well, Cthulhu, you as well, joining me on me joining you this season. Let's be honest, I'm the newbie here, but it feels so good to be involved with this league. And look, grand finals, they're around the corner. If you are keen to figure out how that other semifinals is going to play out, go jump over to the other XP Esports channel. It's XP Esports TVB to find out who the other grand finals will be. But from us here on the mainstream, that is us for tonight. Goodbye.
everything around me starting to tumble up. Don't tell me you're hurting, can't tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how it's all my fault. Yeah, I've met my match again, starting from scratch again. Where is the pleasure in all this pain? Don't you lie to me, say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning, I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone else. I've never felt more divided than now. Every word that leaves your lips never means how it sounds. You've conquered the best of me, could have just set me free. Games that you play are just second hand. Now I'm beside myself, no one your fucking hell. Let me just go, let me just go. And don't you lie to me, say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning, I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone else.
You are my strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. What's the cause when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters, there's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember. In every ember. There's a tragedy in every ember. You are my strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body I can picture what you're thinking of. My imagination's not enough. Oh, no, it's not safe to say what you're always looking for. Hey, someone to make you feel like. Don't wanna think of all the who's that you can pick and choose. I wanna make you feel like. Talk about us like you want it. Stop talking like, ooh, we lost it. You don't seem to